Yo. I like the ability in Discord to mute because then it's just like I get to have a little word with our audience before I introduce Ian. Before Ian, I give Ian the chance to jump into the conversation and
They can't hear me?
have his way. They can now, but I just like that,
Oh,
just like a couple seconds in there, just to be like, oh, the cookie. You're starting it off with a crisp chocolate chip cookie.
Nar Hadachi, man. I gotta treat myself.
Oh, oh my goodness. What's up? Apparently. What's up, everybody? I'm Brandon Jones. This is the Easy Odds Community Showcase. Apparently, we're eating chocolate cookies. That's what we're doing.
Mukbang. I got
I don't
a
know
headache.
I don't know what any
Having
of
a
you are
mukbang.
doing in chat. What you have submitted, if you are at this specific tier, what this is. This is the showcase, and every month at the beginning of the month, we show off what our community has been up to, specifically at the $10 and above. There's a price tag to be involved in the showcase, so thank you so much for everybody that has been supporting Easy Allies and is a part of the showcase. A lot of these names, if you have been a part of the showcase, you will be very, very familiar with. But at the end of the month, people submit stuff. Sometimes at the very end of the month. I believe it was the last day of the month I threw this post up. Thanks everybody for jumping in, being a part of what they were doing during the month of April. We are celebrating that now. That is the month of May. One of the allies joins us, Ian Hank, cookie in mouth. I lassoed in for this month. Brad Ellis will be joining me next month. People like to know. I'll be reminding everybody of that at the end of the stream. But we're going to be going through comments. We're going to be going through, we do have some screenshots. We do have one bit of voiceover from a very talented community member. We got photographs, drawings, and then especially music. And it's a bunch of videos. Some people showing off their channel. Some people celebrating some stuff that we have done here previously at Easy Allies. Lots of fun and surprises and conversations to be had. The bulk of it will be conversation. Lots of comments from people, conversation starters, cookies and otherwise. You better finish that cookie fast.
I'm trying my best.
Don't make that cookie a 3-hour bit, because I'm not having it.
Now it's a boat. Choo choo.
I can't.
Oh, it hurts to laugh.
Just recently on Sesame Street, watched Cookie Monster fly in a rocket ship to the moon and then eat the moon because it looked like a cookie. Careful.
Love Cookie Monster.
Cookie Monster rules.
I love him.
Didn't realize
my
how many
God.
bits. I thought Cookie Monster ate cookies and then that was the end of it. I didn't know he was on game shows. I didn't know he was on they do like a like fireside theater book club chat joke with him in like a Hugh Hefner coat and like the pipe, and like just that image, just the camera panning by and there's Cookie with the pipe. Seriously funny. Really, really good, funny stuff.
You just calling him Cookie as though Cookie is his first name just blew my mind.
Simon,
Simon. There was a channel that I was sad didn't keep going, a YouTube channel. Have you heard of this thing, YouTube? I'm in a weird place today. But anyway, they put Cookie Monster to Tom Waits music, and it was so good.
Yeah, their work is versatile. James Davey has the very first comment about this showcase and later showcases. Again, thank you very much. And you can go to patreon.com/easyallies. If you're watching this live, it won't be up until after the episode is over. But if you are watching the archive of this, patreon.com/easyallies, community showcase, one of the tabs at the top for the posts. Click on that. It'll show you all of the posts because I will be making this one public later. But it is still private for just the 10 and above in case people are submitting stuff late. You never know. James Davey. Hi, Brandon and Ian. First, I'd like to start by addressing the Q&A question I sent in December relating to quotes from George Carlin and Jacques Fresco. I was quite taken aback by the Allies' response to the quotes, and I never intended for them to come off as incendiary and baiting. I just felt like it was asking a question that would challenge you guys to think and answer candidly about a topic that's broad and juicy. That's what baiting is. Baiting is fine, but there's nothing inherently bad about baiting, and I don't think they were incendiary at all. But there's nothing wrong with
baiting.
Oh, we bait on the podcast. Fast and Loose is just one bait after the other.
It's just nonstop baiting.
We're masters.
We're masters of
Cookies. 7 minutes in, cookies and baiting. I just felt like asking a question. Sorry. I was enlightened by how Ian responded because he challenged the quotes that made him seen in a new way. That made me see them in a new way, which is what I appreciate and what I wanted to from asking the question. That's the point of social media. That's the point of the showcase. I'm here for new perspectives. Me, Brandon Jones. Admittedly, I believe strongly in most of these quotes. I believe strongly in 98% of what George Carlin said in his lifetime. I love George Carlin.
funny guy.
But honestly, I just wanted your takes because I value your points of view strongly. I've always associated Ian with whimsy and flamboyance. So with this month's showcase, in that order. So in this month's showcase, I wanted to impart my own brand of those two things upon y'all. One of my best friends is a Welshman called Scott Jones, and over the years, I've written some truly bizarre fictional stories about him, such as one where he makes pizzas that adhere to the kind of... Wait, what? Hold on. Pizzas that adhere to the kind of prostitutes the character himself likes to pick up? Okay. Another story, I really tried to make that work, but that is what it is. Another story called Granny Bingo Bash features Scott dressing fancily and dancing his way to a bingo ball where he shows off his dazzling dance moves to a bunch of unsuspecting old ladies, giving one of them a do-si-do along with shucking and giving a scene which I described as entertaining and forgettable as a sprained hip. These are good sells. This is a good trailer. Another includes Scott as a superhero of academia, where he delivers university degrees on time to everybody, but one on occasion he had to jump into a pond and rescue a degree from a thieving mallard. I surprise myself with what my brain comes up with at times. I'd like to see an Easy A streaming show where once a month, an ally sits down and takes in community requests of music or YouTube videos and reacts to them. I want to ask, where are Ian's favorite Academy Award This is so rapid fire. I thought this was going to be a continuation of the thought.
I love this.
I think we might have to actually take a break here and respond.
I think that maybe the pizzas literally like stick to the prostitutes. Adhere
well,
to
you
the
can
prostitutes?
adhere to principles and stuff like that.
Well,
So I
right,
think,
but I'm
I think,
picturing that the pizzas get literally stuck to these prostitutes.
I think he and these pizzas they like the same kind of gals. You know, I think that's the way it goes.
Okay, all right.
Or guys, either way. You know,
There are male prostitutes.
I've had my guy pizzas.
And
I've had my girl
non-binary.
pizzas. I mean, you know, clearly.
Wait, what are we talking about here, Jones?
Clearly, gender comes into play with pizzas. Obviously,
Are you?
I thought we were
wait,
past
wait,
this point
Jones,
when we discussed
Jones,
this.
Jones, are you a pansexual? Pan pizza, Jones? Pan pizza, Jones?
I'm a deep dish pansexual.
Woo!
It's when I only get a couple hours of sleep getting the showcase ready that when I let those jokes like that slide in there.
I'm loving this. This is my favorite kind of energy.
What about the thing where we react to YouTube videos? We
Huh?
don't have something that we react to YouTube videos. We're overdue to react to Easy Allies. We got to do that when we get back in the studio. We got to do a big
Yeah.
celebration of us watching us.
react to Hell Year?
But
I've been thinking about actually doing that for Easy Updates sometimes, like reacting to, because like there are people whose whole careers are that.
you had
And
the
usually
yeah.
that's what I do for Easy Update is just rip off other people. So. Wow.
What are Ian's favorite Academy Award nominated and winning films?
Ever?
Probably this year. Let's not do, please.
I haven't seen any of the
I haven't either.
for this year. I'm like, it's 2020, girl. I don't have time for sad shit. Like, I'm not watching Nomadland.
it's 2021. It's time for anime.
Yeah, like even
Did
though
you
like
get the note, that's what we're all watching now.
I actually know the art director of Nomadland, and like seeing an acquaintance. She's like an acquaintance, but seeing an acquaintance holding a Oscar kind of broke my psyche. I was like, all right.
It might be all time. My favorites include Mad Max Fury Road, The Shape of Water, 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, and Goodfellas.
Yo, Fury Road is dope.
Fury Road is extremely dope.
Parasite winning was the right call.
I'm
not prepared for this. There are too many answers to this.
I think Braveheart was the peak. I was so into Braveheart at the time. I think that was the peak of me being like, yeah, when something won Best Picture. Ever since then, I've been like, cool. You know,
Yeah.
I think I'm more like seeing, the thing about the Academy Awards for me is like having an actor do some good stuff and you keep thinking like, that's a good actor. And then they nailed like this year, like Best Supporting Actor. It's just like, yes, it's
Yeah.
like, please put this guy in 5,000 films right now. Like I like to see that little infusion in someone's career. Like that's neat. That's when it actually does good. I think when you have like somebody, that deserves it. But
Silence of the Lambs, yeah, totally.
Oh my God, yeah.
The Moonlight thing was funny because like La La Land is not a good movie and Moonlight is a fantastic movie. And so that little mix up was especially hilarious.
well, there's always I remember finally seeing Crash. I never saw Crash because I remember that was a big
God.
scandal. And then I finally saw Crash. It was like, oh, okay, I get it.
Crash is a horrible movie.
Well, when Forrest Gump beat Pulp Fiction, I was like that nerd that was like, Forrest Gump's good. Like I did.
Forrest Gump is like, typical Oscar fare. There's a much better Crash about people who become aroused by car crashes. Very disturbing movie.
Yes.
But much better than the other Crash.
Go get yourself some of that. But yeah, I mean, looking at all of the Oscar lists, like I've always wanted to cut a montage for the Oscars. Montages are fun when you get talking about doing things that like YouTubers doing, just having like all these movies that just like pick and choose. That would be a fun gig. Honestly, I feel like many of us gravitate towards the Oscars, but I think many of us still put too much stock into who will win, of course, and we expect a result, get salty and agitated if our favorite film doesn't win. Just like when the Mindful Games series, just breathe in and out and lower your expectations. It'll do your mental health a world of good. Last, I want to say what happens is real, but I think you should happen. But I think... Okay. Lastly, I want to say what happens is real, but what you think should happen is not real. Thanks for all you do. Love and respect.
That's typically true.
James Davey bringing some heaviness into, and I don't mean just, tonally, just the density of it. It's very...
I was thinking a lot about wave functions and stuff lately and like parallel realities and stuff. So depending on which model of quantum mechanics you subscribe to, even the things that don't happen, just in a different, branch.
I've always liked... Yellow Submarine, nothing is real. I love that. I have a poster of Yellow Submarine on it. It's like, no, nothing's real. It's like, oh,
you would have a poster of Yellow Submarine.
I do. It's in my closet. It fits in my closet. Just barely. I'm like
my son.
Small Leviathan. Howdy, folks. April 20th was my birthday. Happy birthday, Small Leviathan.
Happy
as
birthday.
It always is. And this year I've got something.
420 blazing.
That's
April, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Sorry.
This year I got there's no problem whatsoever, sir. And this year I got something I've been wanting for a long time, a Wacom tablet. I drew a lot as a kid, but stopped when art classes were phased out of my studies, and I thought it was time to give it another go. My disability, which TLDR causes small miscommunications when my brain sends signals related to motor skills to my nervous system, assures miscommunications when assures that I don't have much to show for it yet. But you got to start somewhere, right? Anyway, I want to talk about 2 games. Oh, good luck with all of that.
Good Wacom tablet for sure.
Yeah, Wacom. Sorry.
Oh, I hear some people say Wacom.
Wacom?
And I'm like, certainly it can't be Wacom. But I love that you're
Honey, get you Wacom.
tackling that. That's awesome.
I want to talk about 2 games I've been playing for the last week, starting with the more well-known one, Monster Hunter Rise. At the time of writing, I just got the first credits roll, and I can already tell this is one of my favorite games in the series. I ended up having a lot of small issues with Monster Hunter World that I won't go into because they're not that interesting, and as a result, Rise's many successes ended up feeling like a fantastic return to form. Komura Village is a fantastic setting, and I much prefer the Wirebug and Silkbug system to World's Clutch Claw. Additionally, the new Wyvern writing system is just stellar. It's so much more cool, rewarding, and skillful than the old mounting system, while also being far better balanced and integrated into the core combat system, as opposed to just spamming jump attacks for free knockdowns. I've been wondering about that because getting on top of these things, kind of like a Mortal Kombat fatality, like when you first do it, you're like, oh, that's fun. And I was curious, like a month or 2 later, if you're like, oh, we don't do that anymore. It's just pointless.
The writing?
Yeah. I was curious where that was going to be. It seems like it's still pretty fun.
It's very active. You control, you move it around and you control the stuff. So yeah, it's really useful.
That's cool.
It's really good.
Rise is excellent, and I sincerely hope it gets to have a long life like World, although preferably without the limited time events. The other game I want to talk about is a lot more obscure and smaller in both size and scope, but regardless is something I've not been able to stop thinking about since I beat it. Yuppie Psycho. Yuppie Psycho is a 2D survival horror game about a young man named Brian Pasternak. I love that we need the last name. It can't just be Brian. Brian Pasternak, who one day receives an invitation to work at the headquarters of Sintra Corp, the world's largest business, despite having no previous work experience and being vastly unqualified for the job. When he arrives, he soon discovers that there is something deeply wrong with the company and is informed that its woes are caused by a curse, and Brian has been hired to kill the person responsible. To that end, Brian has to roam the offices, digging up clues as to the identity of his quarry and tools with which to survive the hellish conditions of the workplace. Yuppie Psycho leans to its office theme for surreal and horrifying effects, effect, and I often found myself thinking, I can't believe I'm seeing this, as I ran to and from some truly bizarre and terrifying situations and creatures. It's a truly intriguing game full of secrets. Can't wait to jump back in and see what more it has in store for me. Also, you save the game by photocopying your soul. Whoa. End of comment.
That sounds cool. I haven't seen that game.
Did your friend make that game?
Huh?
That just seemed very like...
It seems like something someone I know would make.
Yeah, I was hoping something like that. You get Yuppie Psycho in your mind. I feel bad because some games are better at naming themselves than making the game. And so like sometimes you like see a game and you're like, oh, I have a clear picture of that's not it.
That's
like,
not it at all. It's a
we just noticed that yeah, we just noticed the URL wasn't taken, so we grabbed it. Sorry. I love that. Again, just 2 comments in, I love getting the deep cuts. Yeah. Certainly.
Also, yeah, Rise is dope. It
Rise
was
is
so
dope.
weird that you get credits, like, I don't know, 15% of the way into that game. Like, it's so weird. I was like, what the hell's going on right now?
But it's neat. You've been putting time into it?
Oh, yeah, I'm like
Hunter
Hunter rank
nice.
43 or something. Yeah.
That's awesome. I am not. Brandon K. Gann, I gave myself 2 months to replay every Ratchet and Clank before getting ripped apart, sans the truly atrocious game, Size Matters, Secret Agent Clank, Full Frontal Assault, but quintuple New Game Plus on most, plus some being really short. I instead took over 3 weeks. So here's my tiered ranking, except for the awful ones, which again, Size Matters, Secret Agent Clank, Full Frontal Assault, just obviously. Bad. All for One. 2011, PlayStation 3. A bizarre experiment with a terrible story. It's built to be 4-player co-op, but is playable solo with irritating companion AI. It also plays unlike any of the others, as the right stick isn't the camera but the weapon wheel. Decent. Quest for Booty, 2008, PS3. And Deadlocked, 2005 and PS2, and Into the Nexus, 2013, PS3. Quest for Booty is the lone digital-only entry and bridges the 2 proper PS3 titles, but despite liking robot pirates, it's extremely limited with only 7 barely upgradable weapons, and you can 100% it in 3 hours. Deadlocked is more than twice as long with the mission structure, taking 2 to 5 minutes per mission, and New Game Plus helps. The thing I remember about Deadlocked was Ratchet was like mean on the cover. I remember him having like orange... like an orange Iron Man suit, or he was wearing like metal or something. It was something where I was like, ooh, like, Ratchet Clank's got something to prove with Deadlocked. Like, I remember it got serious all of a sudden. It was like, all right. Having not played the games at all, like you judge things like just based on a cover.
Always.
And then ITN is Into the Nexus was a welcome return after A40 and FFA, with world exploration and a decent number of weapons, though not as deep as regular RNCs. Good. Up Your Arsenal, 2004, PS2, and Going Commando, 2003 on PS2. Up Your Arsenal is the third game and Going Commando sequel, both iterating what came before. Of the two, I prefer Going Commando's worlds, weapons, and story, while Up Your Arsenal introduces Dr. Nefarious. Interesting, I didn't know that. Going Commando has Angela Cross, a Lombax who is oddly never referenced again. Both games, and A Crack in Time, have the coolest area of the franchise, the Insomniac Museum, a 3D representation of Insomniac's offices of the time, holding cut content, developer messages, and creating effects and puzzles. They're only unlockable by either doing and finding almost everything or going to a very specific spot between 3 to 4 a.m. because... Why would you have to go between 3 and 4 a.m. to the place to unlock it, Ian?
I don't know.
They're Insomniacs.
Oh.
I wouldn't have guessed. Great. RNC Future, A Crack in Time, 2009 PS3, I have often heard. And Ratchet & Clank, 2002, the OG. Many pick A Crack in Time as their favorite for good reasons. Diverse weapons, gameplay, variety, unique worlds, stellar story, and one of the best looking RNCs. While all true, I like the first RNC more because of the worlds and story, despite it not surpassing in any other metric, especially being the clunkiest to play. And Ratchet is a jerk. An excellent Ratchet & Clank 2016. Interesting. Huber had issues with the the arsenal, and RNC future tools of destruction. I love everything in both. They look and play amazingly. Weapons are the most interesting. I've rarely had tech issues. Initially, I preferred the reboot, but this replay made me appreciate tools of destruction more. The world selection is the best. The story incorporating both the robot pirates and Ratchet's origin is the most enjoyable, and choices in the reboot hold it back. For example, some of the best worlds from the original didn't make the cut. The main villain from 2002 is transformed from intimidating to annoying, and the difference between the theatrical movie cinematics and the in-game cutscenes is noticeable and unnecessary.
Unnecessary.
Scene. Thank you, Brandon K. Gann. I love this because we at Easy Allies, Ian, have a lot of opinions. We talk about things we want to talk about a lot. And, it's like you could talk to me about Bond movies, and it's like, Dr. No, and GoldenEye, and, but like once... once like somebody has like a marathon and you actually like put in the time over like a week, like I just finished the MCU actually last night. We watched Endgame last night. We made it. But still that took us like weeks and weeks and weeks to finish. And so it's like if all of those games in 3 weeks, like I trust your opinion. Like that's a really unique perspective to have, even with all of the games we play, all the Castlevania games. Like I can compare them, but like I've never, even when we did retrospectives, like I would take like a quarter of that and I would just play those games and other people would play other stuff. So it's neat. It's neat to talk to someone. That's why I love the completionist. It's just like what a take, like week after week, just like, that's what games are.
I haven't ever played a Ratchet & Clank game.
Only for work, but I've certainly never finished one. Yeah. Never put like more than an hour in. So are you going to play the new one?
Rift Apart, I guess.
Yeah, I think I might make time for it. Yeah.
I mean, finally an RNC that's not pure evil.
What?
Huh?
Are they all what? Are they all other pure? Oh.
It's a politics joke.
Oh, okay. It's like our RNC. Who knows? Maybe we'll get in. I'm like, what? What a twist. Top 10 twists of 2021. Wow. Remember when Ratchet got like super political?
Yeah, they're like, we have to defund the arts.
Yeah, it's
like what?
Didn't see, and like it's one thing like to go after a theme, but like they were bringing up names and stuff and like policy things. It would like send me texts on when to vote and stuff. I was like, it's strange,
very
game.
strange,
weird. Good graphics go. Really showed off the PS5. Really showed off the potential of the console.
Looked great. No load times. It was amazing.
Yeah. Just hard to overlook. the jarring.
Jesse, alas, I woke up with a headache, so I'm trying to fix it. Sorry if it's distracting.
That's not good.
I have a salon pause on my neck, and I'm rubbing it with a rubber ball.
I picture like a jaguar in like Beverly Hills, just like roar, and they're like in a salon, and they're like treating the paw. It's a salon pause. I don't know. It's
salon pause.
When I first heard that, it was on the radio, and they said salon pause, and then they had to spell it, and I was like, oh, that's not a fun spelling at all. Salimpus.
Salon.
Honey, where are the Salimpus?
My friend Pam, who's a doctor, recommended these, and I'd never heard of them. And she had to tell me what they were called like 4 times. I was like, what? What word are you saying?
Yeah, that's when it's fun. When you have like medical things are fun because there's no branding behind it at all. It's that's what it's called. That's what we all call the. What do you mean? Marketing? What's marketing? How many salon paws are sold every day? I want to know. Caesar Villa. Hello, Ian and Jones. I already abused the podcast to share my wife's story with the PS5, so I'll continue it here. Abused. Abused the podcast. Cliff notes for Ian. Back in November, after the wife watched Blood's unboxing video on the PS5, she said she'd wait for the slim version. But a couple weeks ago, the first time we actually saw it on stock, she told me to get one without any hesitation. The PS5 arrived, and just after what? See, that's the thing about relationships. You just got to be aloof. If you're trying to attract somebody, you just got to pretend like you don't care. The PS5 arrived, and just after watching the box, her words were, wow, that thing really is huge. Why didn't you stop me from buying this gigantic thing? One can never win. Because I did remind her words to her that she'd wait for the slim version before buying, and gave her plenty of opportunities to back off, but she didn't listen. Anyway, we have a PS5 now, and I've been enjoying Astro Bot quite a bit. Moving on, after Nintendo killed Super Mario Bros. 35 on April 1st, I went back to Resident Evil 4, and while I beat it 4 times during its time on the console, I still wanted more. That game is so good. I believe Ian was the guest in the show when I mentioned that I love the Wii version because it was like having 2 games in one because of the control schemes. You can play with the classic controller for the original laser sight, or you can plug in a nunchuck for the Wiimote to almost have an easy mode because of how smooth it is to aim with the Wiimote. That's why, again, if you've played RE4 on the Wii with the Wiimote, and you imagine that
It's
thing on
amazing.
Oculus, it's like you can again, like,
Yeah.
just having somebody slowly creep towards you, and it's like, oh look, your toe, pop, and it's like, ow, you hit me in my toe, and you're like right in your face, like I can't. Oh man,
It felt so good. I beat RE4 the first time on a friend's borrowed GameCube, and then when I got a Wii, I bought it again and played it again with the Wiimote, and it was just like, oh, it was so good.
I can't wait to, like, when you have to cover Ashley when the robed guys,
Yeah.
and they're like creeping up on you. I wonder if I can, like, have the rifle up and then just fire like in front of me. It's just like, I know you're there. Like, I know you axe guys are creeping up on me. Little hip shot. I wonder. I'm so curious.
The real question is, Jonesy, can you operate the crank with your left hand and like look and shoot with your right hand while still cranking?
Yeah.
Because then, like, that's gonna change that whole sequence. It's gonna be nuts.
Don't sleep on the mobile version of RE4. I will sleep on that. I've played that game.
There's a mobile what is this,
don't.
Skyrim? It's on everything.
Yeah. You know what I just re-downloaded that's fun that I don't actually have any intention to play? It's just fun having Knights of the Old Republic on my phone.
I've never played that.
What a flex for, like, a mobile machine. To be like, oh yeah, that massive franchise-changing role-playing game. Let me play it and text someone at the same time. I decided I would beat the game in both normal and professional difficulty with both control schemes to prove my easy mode point, and my results were not as conclusive as I thought they would be. On normal, I got killed 18 times with the classic controller and 24 with the Wiimote, something I was not expecting. However, on professional, the point was more than proven because I got 199 deaths with the classic versus only 78 with the Wiimote. During these recent playthroughs, I thought of a few challenges that could fit Achieve It Yourself nicely. Now I'll have to wait for the Season 4 challenge gathering post and convince Damiani that those are good, and hopefully I won't torture Ben this time around. Please torture Ben. Check the Season 2 Episode 5 and Season 3 Episode 2 for context on that. And finally, thanks for setting up the Patriot Party, Ian. It was a jolly experiment and one that worked way better than I expected. I hope you guys continue doing stuff like that. Either continue watching Patriot or anything else. I nominate The Sound of Metal because Huber has been hyping it up since it launched, and it recently got all that Oscar buzz. I like launched. In the films, we say released, right? You would say released on a film thing. It's like it's like football players in high school are like, you got theater practice? You're like, yes, rehearsal.
Yeah, I got theater practice.
That's it for this month. Stay safe and healthy, allies. Estamos in contact, Caesar. Thank you, Caesar.
Yeah, Huber and I want to keep watching Patriot, so
it's the dream.
Do that.
The dream.
I know he wanted to.
Literally...
He wants to. It worked.
We thought going into Easy Allies, the dream was playing video games and making videos about them. No, the dream is literally just being an Amazon Prime member. That's the dream.
Huber
like literally,
to
that's
finally
your
watch Patriot. All I ever wanted.
Just getting your friends. It's so one of the realest things I've ever seen on Family Guy was just this whole bit where he had his friend at the store that was like, Chris was holding the power over him that he wanted to know what Chris thought of the television show. And that was like literally a currency that Chris had. And then he was like, I'll do anything. And then he like finally did it. He's like, what'd you think? And he's like, I thought it was cool. He's like, wasn't it? You know, it's like that you need that affirmation so bad.
Yeah.
It's true. I need it as well. You know, my brother, like, I'm hanging out with my family. My brother just pulls me aside. He's like, do you see Mortal Kombat? I'm like, no. He's like, ugh, just furious. Watch Mortal Kombat. We have to have a conversation. I was like, all right, I'm sorry.
I saw Mortal Kombat.
Well, you can talk to my brother. I'll give you his number. You can call my brother.
Basically, it boils down to like, oh, hey, that's like the thing from the game.
Yeah, it's those
Leo
are the
DiCaprio enjoyable parts.
Yeah. Leo DiCaprio. I like when a meme shuts out a meme. Leo DiCaprio just moved Captain America aside when he's like, I understood that reference. Leo's like, it's me now. It's all me every time. It's just me. Jesse Blue, hello, Jones, Ian, and chat. Greetings from the Midwest. What's up, Midwesters?
Hola,
Midwesterners.
as we say in the Midwest.
yeah. Aloha. I want to apologize to you, Ian, for my Q&A submission. I know it was not actually a question, but in my defense, I was suffering through another migraine brought on by my second COVID vaccine shot, and I could only think of how much I love you all, and that I needed that hug. Hugs all day. Hugs anytime.
I had zero. Huber already spilled the beans on when we got vaxxed, so I guess I'm just talking about it now. But like, I had zero side effects at all, and then the day after, I got an aura, and so I just took like a bunch of pain relief, and then fell asleep for 3 hours, and then woke up and I was fine again. And now today my neck hurts, but that's just unrelated, I think. So, Meanwhile, I'll hit Sophia like a train.
Yeah, there's no. It's a fun little grab bag of who knows what it's going to do to you physically
Yeah.
for everybody. And we've all, people are getting different shots and stuff too. But just setting expectations. You and Huber building up the hype, the reunion hype.
Mm-hmm.
It is a long ways away from this showcase. Let me put it that way.
Yeah, not for a hot minute.
Speaking of hugs, Milo can say hugs now, and sometimes he'll just say words. Sometimes he just says words because he just wants to say a word. So he just looks at me and is like, hug. And I'm like, don't just go asking for hugs, and then you don't need a hug. Like, if you want to, I'll hug you if you want it. But don't just say hug. Do you want a hug or not? One way I would distract myself during the sharpest pains was mentally crafting a return to the studio video. Now, I'm not trying to pressure you at all. Whether you do or don't make one matters not, as the one I have below is the perfect idea in my head. Feel free to use it or not use it. Either way, I've already filmed and cut it with my mind, but let me set it up for you. Hey, do you ever film and cut things with your mind, Ian? Ever?
Yeah,
Maybe?
all
a couple
the time.
times? Here we go.
Story
I like
of
the
my
pitch,
life.
too. I'm in the elevator. This is the elevator pitch. Okay, man. Let me pitch to you the show. Joan sits at the desk with a laptop. We hear sounds of someone entering the front door and climbing the stairs. Joan perks his heads up, grabs a mask and a white card, the size of a vaccination card with obscure writing on it, and heads down the hall where he meets Ian at the top of the stairs, bag over one shoulder, mask on as well. Jones, now wearing the mask, holds up the white card by his face. Eyes look expectantly. Ian holds the card up, eyes smiling. They embrace and start back down the hall, skipping, I'm assuming. Ian enters the control room. Jones, about to head back to the studio, hears more feet on the stairs. His eyes light up, and he rushes back to meet Bloodworth. Scene repeats with Jones holding up the card, then Blood holding... Wait, I just want to put it... Bossman's been sleeping there the whole time, and we kick him out?
Yeah.
We
Shoot him and then throw his corpse in the dumpster.
He's like in the fridge. We're like, get the hell out of here.
Get the hell out of here.
I repeat, I added that. That's not.
Yeah.
Jones about to head back to the studio. Hears more feet on the stairs. His eyes light up and he rushes back to meet Bloodworth. Scene repeats with Jones holding up the card, then Blood holding one up. Embrace as Blood heads down the hall, Blood shirtless, to the library where he begins taking cables, controllers, and games, etc. out of the bag. What? More feet on the stairs. Cut to Damiani holding a white card. Jones lowers a card and they embrace. Damiani heads to the streaming room. He lovingly touches the salad mic and sits down on the chair. More feet on the stairs. Cut to white cards flashing and embrace when two pull apart and we see it's Dawn. Then he heads to the office. Next on the stairs is Brad. Cards embrace and Brad heads to the green room. Puts a 6-pack of Red Bull into the fridge. Grabs a Coke. Brad sits in a chair and we hear the crisp crack clip. Next we hear quick feet on the stairs. Jones holding up a card at the top is shoved aside by Ben, who only says long commute or long car ride. Mine is just as long now. Let's fight.
Everybody's is, except for me.
It's true. We see only the door and it's shut and the research sign. Pardon my bathroom humor, but that's how I get every ally in a different room. Key for the next scene. Oh, I love this.
Oh, okay.
One last time, we hear feet on the stairs. Montage of each ally looking up from what they're doing in their respective rooms. Some with confusion and some with excitement in their eyes. Close up on Huber's face, mask on, card held up, and he shouts, "Allies assemble." All the allies stand out of their doorway of the rooms that they were in. Jones is the closest because he already left the studio to go to the stairs, hugs Huber first. As he proceeds down the hall, he hugs each ally in turn by the rooms they left. Jones and the allies Huber has already hugged form a cluster behind him, and Blunt ends up on the other side of the group, so it ends in a big group hug in the hall by the streaming room with the candlestick, with Blood's arms, no, I'm just kidding, around one end of the group and Jones's arm around the other and Huber in the middle. I love specifically where we are at each given time. After a second or two, Blood says, "All right, enough of that. We got work to do." Jones says, "He's right. Let's play some games." Huber and any ally still wearing one whips off his mask and tosses it in the air. We definitely need to have the freeze frame mask
Graduation.
shot. And then they're on the floor and then we all pick them up because we have to wear them again when we leave. So it's we can't. In the air as the music from the end of the original Allies Assemble video plays. Anyway, thanks again for helping to keep me sane. I appreciate you continuing to give us a peek into your lives. Much love and respect, Jesse Blue. See, that's the thing is, we're just gonna be in the streaming room. We're not gonna wear. And now we're back in the studio. Let's make.
I mean, we probably should do something.
No, of course we should have a big celebration. But yeah. Without that being in the calendar yet, it's I
loved it.
Not thinking about that stuff at all.
Mostly accurate on the arrival order.
Sure.
Usually it's me or Damiani that gets there first.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's me there first. Nay, especially now.
Not typical. No. It'll almost always be me, except for Damiani. Often gets up at like 5 in the morning and just
Right.
skips traffic.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it would be if there was a shoot out of nowhere. So if we had Ben in the office the next day and we were meeting for some reaction, Ian will be there first. If Damiani was shooting something the night before, he just slept there. Like, he just like, that's why he's there. You know, he's not there because he like
For like
commuted there.
E3,
He's
like,
just-
yeah, he
he's just left over from yesterday.
he just like stays up until, and we're
Yeah.
all just like, Damiani, you're gonna have like you're gonna just collapse one of these days.
I literally have to wait for like someone's face to suggest that I don't have to work on something for me to be like, okay, bye. You know, whereas like we'll literally tell Damiani like, don't work on this, and then like the next day he's like, so I did this thing. We're like, Damiani, we told you to take the day off, man.
Yeah.
Blood's like, we're not messaging each other on Sundays. Let's take Sundays off. I'm like, okay. And like Sunday morning, he's like, hey, I had a thought. I'm like, Blood,
Yeah. Oh,
you brought it up.
Yeah. Work-life balance is. We're bad at it at Easy Allies. Let's just say that.
Yeah, we were talking about setting goals and doing new things outside of our regular work today. And Blood, like, you could feel the fatigue in the comment, like in YouTube's chat, was just like, I have 12 things to do today. It's like, oh, Blood. And for reasons we're not getting into extensively, Blood has been very ill because of reactions to things that may or may not have happened. We may or may not disclosing at various times. Do the math on your own. Sage Mode Q. Hey, Brandon and Ian.
The nice thing with the vaxes is that we can't go in until the last person is in. So
Exactly.
We know when that is, but we don't have to say when that is.
Yeah. Nothing like pressuring. nothing like
don't be
pressuring
late on
people
your
at work
second
for
dose.
physical. Yeah, exactly. Don't miss that day. Sage Mode Q. Hey, Brandon and Ian. Like I'm guessing a lot of people will be saying in the showcase this month, I'm now fully vaccinated and I'm actually returning to work next week. I'm a manager at a movie theater here in Seattle. I'm pretty nervous about it. Not about doing the job, but just having to deal with the public again, particularly people complaining about COVID policies. I have a very short fuse when it comes to those types of people, so I'm afraid about blowing up on some Karen my first or second day who doesn't want to wear a mask. Hey, my mom is named Karen.
But is she a Karen, though?
No. She could.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. She was a Karen to me in high school because I was a pain in the ass. But
Well, that's all right.
not to like normal people.
Yeah.
But she's a Karen, but is she a Karen? Because it's Karin. And whenever she's like, Brandon, people are making fun of me. I'm like, they're just making fun. You're Karin. These are
It's like the Norwegian
Karens.
spelling.
Yeah. Karin Jones. My one saving grace from all that stress is after a couple of months of slow game releases, we are getting into a giant wave of AAA games coming out all around the same time. Seriously, with Neir, Returnal, RE Village, Mass Effect Collection, Ratchet, all coming out. How am I supposed to make time to play all of these? How do you and Ian go about making the decisions of what to play and prioritize when there's a giant influx of games? I don't know, dude. It's so weird. Like what I'm in the mood for, like what I...
It's an interesting because for me, I don't have the same kind of... I don't have a structured pressure like, say, Huber or Ben or those guys where it's like, they have to finish this because they're reviewing it or whatever. So, like, I more than the other guys probably get to play what I want. But I do try to check out most things. Right now, I'm trying to decide if I'm going to bounce off Returnal or not because it's punishing, man. Oh, God, it is punishing, dude. But yeah, I mean, once Village shows up, everything else is going in the dumpster. Like, see ya.
It was, I normally don't say that on Cup of Jones, but I was like, heads up, Village comes out on Friday, so don't talk to us this weekend.
Like literally all of us are, except for maybe Dawn, are just going to be like...
I made the bet about RE Village, and I was like, oh no, that's literally going to be like the moment I finish cutting the podcast and exporting it. So I'm just going to be like cutting the podcast, like let's get into it. I feel bad. It's like Amanda will come in and like, you know, her pajamas, like all cute. Just like, good night, hon. I'm like, good night, goodbye. Like, yeah, thanks. Bye. Sophie, I love you. Bye. All right, close the door. But yeah, there's no recipe whatsoever for me. It's the strangest thing, like what games I want to play or what games I'm actually going to make time for, or that I'm playing Immortals Phoenix Rising DLC, but not planning on playing Assassin's Creed, you know, Valhalla DLC. You know, I'm sure I would equally have fun. You know, like that's what's crazy is like you dip into a game, Monster Hunter Rise. You know, it's just like I could totally on a dime right now be like, yep, let's do it.
This is great. And that one has the benefit of like I mostly play with my friend Jack. I want to get in games with a few other people, but like that one's nice because it's also just like hanging out. You know, it's like let's just hang out and hunt some mon for a minute. Yeah.
It's fun. I got 3 buddies that live together, game super hard, and so they well, there would at least be one game. It's not a tabletop thing or something. There's one thing. Sea of Thieves for a while was like the big thing they were obsessed with. But it's funny because they'll often bring this to my attention because they don't watch Easy Ally stuff. They get that for free. Me just calling them and like talking about stuff. But so I love when I get a message from him. Like I got a text like 2 or 3 weeks ago, Ian. It was just Valheim. Have you seen this? Have you heard about Valheim?
Have
I was
you
like,
seen that?
Let me guess. You guys are deep. He's like, let me show you our village. I'm like, village, not your one structure, your multiple. Because again, they don't mess around. Like GTA Online, Red Dead, Warcraft, like anything they jump into, they do it huge for like 3 months and then gone.
Yeah,
and
done.
But a week ago, I got back into Plants vs Zombies, the original Plants vs Zombies. It was just like yay, and then like yesterday, I was like, and I'm done. I'll see you again in like 2 years. Yeah, it's very strange. Also, I wanted to quickly add that I planned on being in the shout-out tier for longer, but due to some complications with me returning to work and my unemployment situation, I wasn't able to make that financial commitment, and I know you hate when patrons say they're sorry for changing their tiers.
I don't hate that.
Ian, you know how much I hate that.
Oh,
you know how
Jones
much.
gets really mad.
And you know what? You know what I do? I yell at Ian. I take it out on Ian.
I take it. I take
call
it
you
for
out.
you.
And
For the patrons. I'm happy.
Ian has that ticker on his computer where he sees the tiers drop.
Yeah.
I'm going to hear it. Text from me, Jones. I know you're getting these. Thanks for everything you guys do. Mark my words, this is not the last time you have seen Sage Mode Q in the shout-out tier at EZA. Eternal love and respect. It's not just... I know the shout-out tier might seem like a big deal. Something that I always want to bring up that I mention in fan mail a lot when we send out... I do an audio recording for that, is the podcast producers. Because I get... Especially now... Patreon has jumbled the way they organize this. Now it happens alphabetically, which is kind of nice. It's the way it always should have. But you go to Patreon and you say, let me look at patrons by tier, most expensive to least expensive, and then that's how I make the credits for the podcast. Now, starting with first names, they alphabetize them. And it's like, well, here, finally, here's how actually credits should go. And this is like a monologue that I read every month that like I just get into a groove. And one new name popping in there is like so jarring. It's like, wait, who? What? And it was like, here's this name that I'm just not familiar with because they're not usually at that tier. So any of these shifts that I see, people who come into the podcast, or love and respect, people who ask questions on Cup of Jones that never have before. It's like always a big deal to see new people come in and see people move up and, but just horrifying when they move down. Really, really cuts us emotionally. Really, really hits morale. Any sort of lowering of pledges to the Patreon.
Jones
Very
is just
much
kidding.
Not true. Very much not true with that last part. Love and respect.
You gotta
to everybody,
do what you gotta do.
Yeah. Just hang out at the showcase. That's all you need to do. Just don't worry about the pledging. Don't worry about finances. Just showcase it. Level Capybara. Hi, Brandon. Hi, Ian. I hope May is off to a
Capybara.
Level
That's
Capybara.
a funny name.
Hope May is off to a matey good start.
Oh my god. This comment already, dude.
For this community showcase, I just wanted to showcase appreciation for stuff you've both done that's had a positive effect on my life. Brandon, your Mindful Game series expanded the way I approach gaming. I've tried practicing sitting still with my thoughts and focusing on the environment around me before, but for whatever reason, I hadn't been consciously applying the practice to video games. I guess I've spent too much time focused on completing tasks as prompted by the game and not enough time appreciating the spaces the developers created to complete them in. Your insightful videos and your guided meditations in particular helped me to remember to slow down and take things in. And that for some games, for me, Breath of the Wild in particular, the mark of greatness isn't just how much fun you have playing it, but how much fun you have when you set the controller down for a minute or two. Thank you for creating a series that helped me to realize that. Dude, you know what game? I was like, I don't need this game in my life, but in order to make the bet work for the podcast and to see a trending broadcast for a game on PlayStation 5, I needed to actually have downloaded it. So in order to track that for Genshin Impact, I needed to download Genshin Impact. And then that was the problem, that I had Genshin Impact on my computer. And then I was like, fine. So I'm like, booted it up, created a new character. And I was like, this is a pretty deep RPG. Like, I'm not going to spend a ton of time here. But immersive, holy cow.
Genshin Impact, dude.
Some of those towns, like at night with the glow of the, seeing it from a distance, seeing like a town glowing when you're in a forest and stuff. It's pretty good stuff. Pretty good stuff.
I played it like right after it came out, and it was kind of cute.
Talk about bouncing. Super easy to bounce off Genshin Impact. Very easy.
Yeah.
That first impulse I had. So like, ooh, I got 30 minutes. Should I play Genshin Impact? No. I'm going to finish that Immortals DLC. Like,
Solid
no.
NO
But
on that
didn't delete it. Still downloaded. You know, didn't cost me anything. So I appreciate that. But I bring it up because going into that world and I at least played it long enough to like go jump up on top of a rooftop and look around and take a breather. It's always nice. That's why I like open world games. It's always worth it before you leave, even like in a GTA, to just take in the view. Like,
look around,
good.
yeah.
Snoop
around.
Ian, you are a mad genius. Emphasis on mad.
I'm pretty angry.
I watched all 10 minutes and 29 seconds of your why does this make you mad video. I didn't do that. Coincidentally, I popped into my YouTube feed at a time when I was feeling down and frustrated myself. Hey, to give you any, a modicum of backup for producing the weird stuff that you do for Easy Allies, Ian, let me just make it clear. Before Ian, I don't know if you had shot it yet. That's the thing about Ian, is Ian will just be like, I did a thing. We're like, what? Like, yeah, Ian will produce things out of nowhere. So I can't remember if you'd done it yet or if you just told me about it. We were in the studio on the stage and you were like, I have an easy update coming up where it's just me staring at the computer saying, why does this make you angry? And I smiled and nodded and said, excellent.
That's about right.
That's terrific. Because I've been doing this for almost 20 years. Please do weird videos, please. Please do weird. That's why Mindful Games was great, because it was so different from anything that I've been doing. So when you make lots of videos, it's fun to make the weird ones.
Anytime I see that GIF of me saying, "Why does this make you mad?" It's like seeing a child. It's like I'm like, "Oh, my baby got out there." It's just like,
you should make a GIF that says, "Why does this GIF make you mad?" And then the episode should just be the GIF, and people only realize like 10 minutes later, they're like, "Have I just watched a GIF this whole time?" Coincidentally, it popped into my YouTube feed at a time when I was feeling down and frustrated myself. I can't remember what this was for me at the time, so I'm not sure why it made me mad. What I do remember was that your video gave me a chance to sit with the question and give myself a chance to calm down and assess things with a clearer mind. I then proceeded to binge all of your opinion yell videos for a good chuckle. All right. Wow. Ian, exclusive.
Team effort.
Good to see. And no, they did not make me mad. I still think about that video and that question whenever I need to get myself out of a rut of negative thinking. Thank you for each of the 10 minutes and 29 seconds you spent asking it. I look forward to your future content. It's already made the world a much better place. Love and respect. Level Capybara.
Thank you.
That's the thing about calming down. That's the thing about not being angry. The thing about mindfulness is like, even when you have a clear course and you know what you need to do, it's still hard. know, it's not just that's why the diagnosing and the pause and having that moment. I still recall losing it over my friend Jeff Groats when he made fun of Batman the Animated Series for Super Nintendo, and I was like, how dare you? And then realized, like, wow, he got me so angry. Thank you for thank you for showing me like all it took to
hot button issue for you
to set me off. It's good. You need to know what those things are.
It's funny that funny RF, that's great. It's funny because like I think, I don't know about you, but I don't want to put words in your mouth, but like I've been in therapy, in and out of therapy, like forever. And like, it's a skill that you develop to like be able to listen to yourself and stuff. And more often than not now when I get angry, like I'll even know like how long I'll be angry for. I'm like, I'll be angry for like 50 minutes and then I'll be fine. Like, especially if I like have a granola bar or something, like, it's interesting. I don't know. It's funny that you get to know yourself in a certain way.
Amanda and I were talking about one of the big things that I always come back to that I have no problem parroting is just this idea that like we say something, we don't know how that's perceived by other people, and that makes talking to people hard. I think that's like really at the core of like a lot of disagreements that happen online. Is like we don't know what we sound like. It's impossible. Like I don't know what I sound like to anyone that's listening to this. I just have to modify my message based on the responses that I get from people, and that's like a messy, complicated, long, imperfect, and impossible to perfect which is also imperfect process. And so Amanda was saying, she's like, well, it helps to have yourself recorded and to listen to yourself sometimes later on. And I was like, what, you mean my job?
Yeah, you mean that thing?
You mean that thing I do for 2 hours every week called the Easy Allies Podcast, where I listen to myself later and think of what an idiot I am?
Well, it is funny though, because like so often people will react to things I say and like act like I was like super mean or angry or like overly passionate about something, and it's like, I wasn't feeling that at the time. It just must, and it took me a long time to realize like, oh yeah, you just sound like an angry, crazy person sometimes. It's just like, that's just how it is. was like, all right, well, I gotta try to not do that, I guess.
I remember one time this was like, seriously, this was like, who's on first? I remember we just kept spinning around in circles. But Shane Satterfield came to me one time and he's like, you read this word wrong in a review. Why did you read this other word? And I was like, oh, I just made a mistake. And he was like, but why did you think this word was better than the word that I wrote? And I'm like, I didn't. I made a mistake. I said, my brain thought I was saying the word that was written, but I didn't. And he's like, but if there was an issue with the writing, I'm like, there wasn't an issue with the writing. Like, me human, make error. Like,
Yeah.
no one in booth to direct. Like, yeah, it's funny. People make mistakes when you're streaming and shooting all the time. Parasite Paladin. Hello, Jones and Ian, your friendly neighborhood wrestling fan here. Somebody's got to be. We got into the CZ Allies thing, and Brad and Huber were all into that wrestling. They were doing syndromes about it.
We lost it.
Fell off.
What
I don't know
happened to
nothing
that?
about no wrestling now. I do love chuckling at the wrestling live shots of like TVs in the stands that like are pretending to be people. That's funny to watch. Not as funny with regular sports like hockey and stuff, but like wrestling for some reason, a lot funnier. Back from spending a bunch of money like I usually do, found myself 2 photo books of my favorite professional wrestlers in stardom and in general. Tom Nakano, and I just had, Nakano? Probably Nakano. And I just had to buy up ASAP since they are so hard to find. One even came with a Checky, which is a signed Polaroid. I also grabbed a keychain of hers, so that's exciting. I have another photo book of her 3-person group, so my collection is growing quite nicely. Purchased a signed and framed small picture, so that will get here whenever they're ready to ship out. Haven't bought it yet, so we'll probably also buy a signed handprint picture combo as well. Would like to have a nice little shelf filled with her merch at some point. Also, I bought, if it is still available by the time the proxy service gets to it, a t-shirt and photo book for my second favorite wrestling in stardom, Syuri, Syuri. Syuri. She's only my second favorite and will be much more conservative about spending money on her merch. Gotta rank it. Gotta write that down, or else you forget. You hit the button. Oh, you're my second.
I love comments that have a lot of names and terms for a thing I don't understand, because like you're saying words in English and I understand some of the sentences, structurally, but also I'm just like, what? Like, what are you saying? Like, what's happening?
I showed my mother-in-law the first episode of Mindful Games because I finished it in like January. It didn't go up until a lot later, but I was like really proud of it. And she like watched it and she was like, Brandon, I thought that video had a good message and I liked it. I didn't understand a lot of it, but I thought it was a good video. I'm like, that's fair. Like you're talking about maps and search functions. And so I don't know what an inventory is. I don't deal with inventories, Brandon. But I like, if she's only the second favorite, what if she becomes the favorite? Then do you have to sell off the merch of who's the one wrestler who's now become second favorite? Or do you? I wonder what it takes. What does Syuri have to do next month? Well, it happened. Syuri had a good match. Now she's the best. I do love merch, and I feel like I'm being slowly accepted into this Stardom subreddit since I make a post whenever a cool item goes on sale in the Stardom store. It's a good way to do it. I want to spread that sweet merch hype. On the gaming side, somewhat recently I have played and beat River City Girls and Kirby Star Allies, both fun in their own ways, currently playing through Xenoblade Chronicles on Switch, and slowly reading my way through the visual novel House of Fata Morgana on PS4.
I've heard that's good.
Ooh! A visual novel being brought up and supported on the community showcase.
Jason Wishnov was like, I'm about to play the 100% rated House of Fata Morgana.
Nice.
And then I was like, really? And he's like, it only has like 3 reviews on.
But that's that's a pure fandom. You know what I mean? That's a fandom untainted by outsiders. Like no one's gonna come in and mess that up for people. Nobody comes in to just be like, wait, what? What's this thing? That's always cracks me up when somebody will come into like a fandom I enjoy and be like, this fandom isn't like the fandom I like. And it's like, we'll go back to what's the problem? I don't go to the NHL fandoms and I'm just like, I don't like hockey. And just like, what are you doing here? Poor hockey. I always use hockey as the reference. Well, I got to say, it's very dark. Lots of bad stuff happens in that game. Lots of triggering things in the game. But if that isn't an issue for you, I'd recommend it to anybody who enjoys visual novels. Visual novels, usually the darker stuff. The like choose your own adventure gamey stuff is usually for you got the adults that are usually playing that, so why not? The news of the older PlayStation store spooked me real good. So I panicked, and bought a bunch of PlayStation classics. I was hoping we were going to get at least one showcase post of someone who's like, well, they got me. Which again, I don't want to read. I try not to conspiracy theory too much, especially as
I
a
wondered
moderator
if
of
they
a
did
news
it on
podcast.
purpose.
But man, I
wondered.
Not on purpose, because see, that's the thing, is it's so easy to oversimplify a big company move as like, here's the reason they did it. I'm sure companies make moves for 50 different reasons. I just think this was one of them. I think it's like, well, worst case scenario, people buy a bunch of PS3 games. People buy a bunch of PSP games. How fun would that be? Yeah. About $230 worth. Here we go. Which are games I've already played and owned and want easy access to on my PlayStation 3. Legend of Dragoon, Wild Arms 1 and 2, Pac-Man World, Threads of Fate, Parasite Eve 1 and 2, Chrono Cross. Games I haven't played before or are way too costly to buy physical. Alundra, Ark the Lad 1, 2, and 3. Ark Ariana Monster Tournament, Jumping Flash 1 and 2, Jumping Flash 1 and 2. Yes. Yeah. Echo Knight. Jumping Flash 1 and 2 introduced me to my concept of like going places in 3D games.
Yeah.
Like I didn't play no Bubsy 3D. Like
the first time you go, I was like, whoa!
That like Super Mario 64 mind-blowing thing we were talking about, Jumping Flash. It was all about Jumping Flash before any of that happened. This idea of like, I'm going over here now. Like crazy. Echo Knight, Suikoden 2.
Suikoden!
Do you like Suikoden?
Yeah.
All right. Built-in Ian Hink reaction. Final Fantasy Tactics.
Oh!
That's a pleasure of this job. It's just knowing when you get to name drop those things.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Final Fantasy Tactics just recently downloaded on the phone. Just like, you know what, dude, I also downloaded, because I owned it. And I remember buying this before, and then I stopped playing it for some reason. And then I played it for like 6 minutes, and I was like, I remember why. This is terrible. Is Symphony of the Night, because it's just the mobile controls. It's like, no, I can't.
Oh, yeah.
The motion from the jump button to the attack button, my thumb gets wrong every time. It's just like, I want to try to do it without looking at my thumb, and like my thumb's like, I can't hit that little circle. Sorry, it's not happening. I should need to get a controller, and I'll play the hell out of it. Classics I bought off the Japanese store. LSD Dream Simulator. Curious.
Wow, okay.
Gunner's Heaven, Panzer Bandit, Ray Tracers, Air Geese, which was an accident. I wanted Einhander. Hey, you got a good game there.
Yeah.
That's the Final Fantasy fighter, baby.
To make.
The Adventure of Little Ralph. IQ, Intelligent Cube.
Yeah.
Rakugati Showtime. Is Sophie in here? Sophie's in here.
Whoa.
Sophie's been in this room the entire time. Get out of here, Sophie.
Sophie! Sophie!
It's like that bark was alarmingly close. Gaia Seed. I'm set on games for the next year, which is good since I should slow. Even $230 is nothing to shake a stick at, but that's a pretty good haul. For $230. Do you need assistance? Pardon me, ma'am. Do you require assistance?
Sophie, come here. Get on the showcase, Sophie. Here she comes.
Since I should slow down with all the spending. Snurps. Snurps. She's so funny because she... Yay!
The gang's all here.
She's so funny because this morning she went outside and laid down in the sun. And then I went back to the door and turned around to her and was like, hey, Sophie, let's go back in. And she gave me a look like, over my dead body, I'm going back inside. And I was like, all right, fine. And then I went inside, and 5 seconds later, she's barking like, wait, what are you doing in there? I want to come back inside. I was like, oh, really? You didn't seem like you wanted to before.
I didn't even know she was in here.
Neither did Brandon.
Goodbye.
Yeah.
Bye-bye. Can you say, I don't know,
Batman?
Batman? Yeah, Milo, say Batman. No. Can you say Dada?
Nah.
No.
It's like, no, but I can hang out with these Pez dispensers back there.
All right, goodbye.
He went to all those Pez dispensers the other day. This really happened. He went to all those Pez dispensers, and do you know who he grabbed? Do you know who he wanted of all of them?
Was it Batman?
Chewbacca. It's my boy.
That's my boy.
All right, sorry about that. Really unprofessional.
She's already gone.
It is. Please check out Rakugaki Showtime. It's wild to make a great group stream game. Love and respect, Parasite Paladin. Thank you for those. Always down.
Thank you.
For group stream suggestions. Oh,
Brandon.
We got a good group stream tomorrow night.
Oh
boy. Yo.
Don't get your hopes up though. I got a research break real quick.
Okay. All right.
I'll be right back. Just talk for a minute.
Okay.
Shouldn't be too hard for you.
Mute myself. There, I'm muted, so he can't hear me. Ha! I get control the audio now. Hi, I'm Brandon Jones. That empty chair over there used to be filled by Ian Hink, who will be joining me in a second to go through the rest of these comments. A lot of comments, not a lot of drawings this week. It's always interesting to see how the stuff will to shift around. I get stressed out enough creating things for youtube.com/easyallies. I have no idea what the stress would be involved in creating something for the community showcase. So shout out to everybody that submits stuffs to the showcase that helps us make this, I think, a vital and very different. That's one of the things about Easy Allies is, being different, doing things curveball, doing things out of the ordinary, doing things that people can appreciate, that are looking for video game content from around the world. And so all of you coming in, and we can cover Resident Evil Village until we're blue in the face, but coming in, immediately coming in and dropping Yuppie Psycho on us is something else. That's what we need as a company. We need people out there, pitching us videos for when we get back in the studio. We need opinions about how hard Returnal is for each of you individually. People had drawings that they forgot to submit. And that's the other thing too, is a lot of, so many of you are involved in the Easy Allies showcase tier on our Patreon that are not involved in the showcase every month. So that means that you are supporting us without specifically taking advantage of the immediate rewards for that support. I always get sentimental when it comes to our patrons at the very end and the very beginning of every month, because that means it's time to go through fan mail. It's time to recheck in with all of you. It's time for everybody to repledge up at the beginning of the month. And so when everybody, we see comments from people who are like, I get that on Cup of Jones. Hey, I'm following you. I have this. I think Easy Allies could be better by doing, X, Y, Z. And I think I would enjoy this content if you were to produce it. But I will still support you. Hearing that is like, first of all, challenge accepted. Second of all, always good to hear. But we still want to get everybody's perspective in there. This is, blah, blah, blah. Are we ready?
Jones, my
rattling
headphones,
on and on and on.
You know how I can usually hear you anywhere I go? My headphones, for some reason, glitched and went silent.
I muted you.
Oh, you deafened me?
Oh, no, I didn't if deafening means I can't hear what's going on in your end, I just muted it so you couldn't hear me.
Well,
I just wanted to have a private moment with our community for a change.
So you muted me.
So not have you eavesdropping like a ninja.
I thought you were doing some kind of flex and just sitting there perfectly silent. So I was like in there laughing because I was like, all right, good bit, Jones, good bit.
You didn't like it. You didn't like being cut out of the loop, did you?
What did you
didn't like
say?
Somebody showing, yeah.
I don't know. I have no way of ever finding out what you said.
I was just talking about how awesome our community is. I was talking about how great it is to get other people's opinions, to get some I keep forgot of it. Psycho Prince? Yuppie Psycho. None of us are going to bring up Yuppie Psycho.
I'm starting a feud with you, Jones.
Oh, sweet. Yes.
We have a feud now.
Bossman told me to have an ongoing feud with Bloodworth, and it's affecting our commenters. We get a comment every now and then on podcasts. People are like, Jones is being really mean to Bloodworth. I was like, Bossman told me to. I'm just doing what the other guy said. They don't like it. They don't like it when I'm just like, Blood, we forgot to do Pope Tarts and Toaster Strudels, and it's your fault. They're like, hey, don't be mad at Bloodworth.
Step out from beneath the shadow
Also,
of the
your
Valley
opening bit
of
sucks. I'm like, what?
AKA Kyle.
Yes. You paused between questions. I just wanted to make sure. Ashes of Aranea. Hi, Ian and Brandon. First of all, some stuff I think Ian and chat would like to know. The Insect Glaive got buffed a lot in Monster Hunter Rise. Now all the aerial combos are doing basically the same damage as the ground one. So finally, anyone who agreed that aerial IG is super fun, basically everyone, let's be real, can play the weapon the way they wanted to from the start. They also added a new mechanic where your damage ramps up as you keep yourself doing flying combos. More about that in this video I'm linking here, which is on our Patreon, that for anyone who wants to check it out later. Also, sorry, I don't know if you remember us talking, but I kind of feel responsible for telling you about the lack of damage aerial IG had in World. Can't shake the feeling that I might have helped shake you off your favorite weapon. Really glad you enjoy Hunting Horn, though. Just wanted to bring this stuff up so you knew that aerial IG isn't dead. I love the weapon drama. I don't want to be keeping you from your favorite weapon now. I think I get shakes. I think about how much time you might have lost playing that game.
I definitely, once I learned I was playing the Insect Glaive wrong, I kind of stopped playing World. But it's fine because Rise is dope and the horn is sick. Don't feel bad. Don't feel bad.
This is actually one of our videos, but I put it into comments. We'll get to this video again when we do videos, but Ashes of Veronea sent a video, obviously, right?
Oh, yeah.
Let me just double check.
I saw a white square, rectangle.
Hold on a second. Right? You got your video, right? Yeah. Well.
Do I have a feud with Huber too?
We will finish this comment. They're all separate feuds, again, and that's the trick is we all have our own individual shows. And so the feuds going on in Syndrome aren't necessarily the feuds going on in Easy Update.
Got to manage those feuds. Got to make a feud tracker app. Feud tracker. That's hard to say.
All right, now let's get into it. This month, I finished my latest journey through Dragon's Dogma Normal and Hard Mode, wiped the floor with all the bosses, and got to level Infinity. Since I don't want to spoil the end of the game for you, Jones, I'm just going to kill that Drake that wiped 2 hours of progress from the Dragon's Dogma stream a few times. Bit of a bummer. Had to take the song out of the video that Ashes of Veronea submitted that we will get to in a sec. Because of content ID, I'll leave both video links in here. I appreciate anyone who could take the time later to watch the original. Trans rights or human rights. Love and respect. Thank you, Ashes of Veronea.
That's true.
'Tis true. And also true that you submitted video and that we will get to it later on. Apologies for doing that. Out of order. Morgan Mulholland, Mr. Jones, and Hink.
Aww.
I think this may be my last showcase as a patron. Dun, dun, dun. It's been a blast, but I'm moving across the country to go to medical school. Congratulations. Sadly, I know I won't have the time I used to have for community participation. Mr. Jones, it really has been an honor. It goes without saying, but you were the best in the biz. Morgan, you have definitely made the most of your time, if you're in your tenure of being involved, question wise, as somebody who, is in several, as many Q&As as I possibly can, as somebody who's managed the showcase, somebody who does Love and Respect, somebody who does Cup of Jones.
Always in there for reaction shots.
There. Morgan is involved.
I love it.
Morgan's keeping it real. Talk about interesting and potentially uncomfortable questions. Keeping it real, Morgan. Thank you for all of that involvement. Diddly do. Ian, though I frequently disagree with you ideologically, tell me about it. I can't help but love and respect you for your work. You are genuine, unfiltered, reasonable, and extremely creative. It is sad to hear the folks online give you such a hard time because you clearly pour your heart and soul into your work. I hope you can keep up the great work and be a better person by not losing faith in your fellow man, even if they don't treat you as well as you deserve. If you will both indulge me, is there anything you recall about this old patron that left an impact? Anything specifically Morgan forced you to talk about?
Just always being there for reaction shots, like for sure, anytime, and with like good comments and stuff too. It's just fantastic. I love it.
The interview specifically being like, okay, you take these questions, pick a group of these.
Yeah.
Because it was always, you talk about baiting, talk about being masters of baiting. There's definitely some questions in there that was just like, like one with Bloods was just like, let's get into religion, bro. And I was like, I'm not with Blood on the show. But it was like,
I would love.
But again, it wasn't. These aren't pushy. These aren't offensive. They were just like, okay, like that is clearly like the maybe conversation that you won't feel comfortable having.
I'll talk about it. Blood doesn't talk.
Well, it's fun, but that's people surprise us all the time about things that they are comfortable talking about or not comfortable talking about. That's why it's fun to do podcasts. That's why another podcast. These are fun. It's fun to talk. That's why we all got these jobs. These people we work with, they're fun to talk to. If you will really indulge me, below is what I tried to post last month for Brandon to read. I will read it again, Morgan. Thank you. Love and respect to all the allies and community, and hopefully I will return sooner than later. I just want to point out, it's a really good tactic, Morgan, whether you do this or not, to do the whole KISS retirement approach, where it's like, if you're a patron, retire like 8 times. Be like, hey, I'm lowering my pledge. This is it. This is my goodbye. And then we'll break out the balloons and confetti. Woo, Morgan Mahala. And then like you're back a month later, like, hey, circumstances changed. We're like, hey, congratulations. And then you cash that chip in a year later. All right, I'm out. Like I'm not involved in Facebook, but I love having those friends that they're like, I'm leaving Facebook.
I'm leaving Facebook.
Just go. You don't have to. It's just,
and all the
like 6 months later, I'm back.
all the like conspiracy addled 40 somethings are like, oh, don't leave.
But this is really good. I mean, this is not only obviously is it frustrating when comments get deleted or I miss something or something, people pay at specific tiers of our Patreon and then can't be involved. This comment especially. Without absolutely zero context given whatsoever is just delightful. Thank you so much, Morgan. This is going to be my number one thing that I will remember you for forever. For a number of years now, work has been proceeding in order to bring perfection to the crudely conceived idea of transmission that would not only supply inverse reactive current for use in unilateral phase detractors, but would also be capable of automatically synchronizing cardinal grammeters. Such an instrument is the turbo encabulator. Now, basically, the only new principle involved is that instead of power being generated by the relative motion of conductors and fluxes, it is produced by the modal interaction of magnetoreluctance and capacitive ductance. The original machine had the base plate of prefabulated amulite surmounted by a malleable logarithmic casing, in such a way that the two spurving bearings were in a direct line with the pentametric fan. The latter consists simply of 6 hydrocoptic Marsal vanes, so fitted to the ambifacient lunar wave shaft that side fumbling was effectively prevented. The main winding was of the normal Lotus O delta type placed in pandendermic semi-boloid slots of the stator, every 7th conductor being connected by a non-reversible tremie pipe to the differential girdle spring on the up end of the grammeters. The turbo encabulator has now reached a high level of development, and it's being successfully used in the operation of Novatrunnions. You had me at Novatrunnions. Sorry, need to collect myself before I finish. Moreover, whenever a fluorescent score motion is required, it may also be employed in conjunction with the drawn reciprocation dingle arm to reduce sinusoidal depleneration.
Huh?
Sorry? Jones, can you run that back?
I love that video.
Next Gen Half. Hey, and Jones. No Crusader Kings update this month due to Monster Hunter. I've played a lot of Monster Hunter Rise with the new update, but I've put more time into Monster Hunter Stories on iOS. I was already interested in Stories because Stories 2 has looked so good. I pre-ordered the collector's edition the night it was released. Then I saw the first one was on sale for $5, and I said, why not? Ooh, what do we got here? What do we got here? Look at Jonesy go. Whee! Well, you can see that it's backwards, but I also downloaded Stories. Because why not?
I didn't know it was on the phone.
This is on the phone. Look at it go. Haven't played it. Look at it go. So, we'll try that out. Yeah, I'm flipped.
Flip it
What of it?
and reverse it.
I was already interested in Stories because Stories 2 looked so good. I pre-ordered the collector's edition the night it was released. Then I saw the first one was on sale for $5. I said, why not? I can't believe I haven't played this sooner. First off, it runs pretty smooth on mobile. While it's not some graphical masterpiece, it's good enough. The only real issue is a lot of pop-in, but that doesn't bug me that much. The story is pretty basic, but it drags you around a world that's really fun to explore. The foundation of the turn-based combat is really simple, built around a literal rock, paper, scissors mechanic. While it can seem random, if you choose correctly each round of combat, certain monsters use, at the most, only 2 of the 3 options, and you can start to predict what they will do and how you should counter. After each fight, you still get materials from the monsters, can forge new weapons and armor like the core games. While there are only 4 hunter weapon types in the game, they are really fleshed out, and you can continuously earn new skills for each type throughout the game. Finally, there are your monsties, monster buddies. Not every monster has a monstie version, but the majority of large monsters do. To get new monsters, you have to go into monsters' dens and steal their eggs, which when you really start to think about it, might be worse than hunters just going out and killing monsters, as you can train these monsties to help you defeat other monsters of its own of its own species. Yeah, you are basically the bad guy in the beginning of a Disney film. Like, that is you. That's the conversation that I'll have later. You took me from my cave. I've loved you like you were my own. Monstie. The system for skills and abilities in place is yet another simple system on the surface like combat, but it's even more complex when you start to delve into what you can do to strengthen your monsties. All of this makes me really excited for the Switch sequel to see how they improve upon the features that already have a nice foundation. Just the fact that they announced that they're having 2 more weapon types makes me excited, on top of the fact that I cannot wait to steal and hatch my favorite new monsters that were added in Monster Hunter World. If you can get a monstie of Neir Gigante and use his dive bomb move yourself, well, we'll be talking about a game with real goaty potential. Hope you guys have a good April and an even better May. Had a good April. Love and respect. Next Gen Half. Yeah, I haven't started actually playing it. That was like, you literally just saw the first time I ever booted it up. But I love those. That's one of those surprise games. It's one of those games that like I save for a frame trap. So don't mention it on stream. Don't tell Ben. But it's fun, like on a frame trap, be like, hey Ben, I play Monster Hunter Stories. And have him be like, what? Like, yeah. Downloaded it. For $5, you can surprise Ben Moore. but it usually costs money. Jason Asackle, this year, I've been a bit more reasonable when it comes to putting money towards games. Is it a game I need to play right away? Is there a story that I'm invested in to which I feel it would be hard to dodge spoilers? If I don't purchase it, why will I feel like I'm missing out? Well, I ended up making my first video game purchase of the year. I'm, of course, talking about Picross SG. Love it. Nothing negative to say about it. It's just great. I was debating about Monster Hunter Rise, given how much I loved World. Something wasn't just clicking for me when I gave the demo a shot. The other game I debated was Neir Replicant, as I had enjoyed. He also wrote out 1.22, but I ain't doing that. I had enjoyed playing Near Automata. After giving it some thought, I couldn't recall any of the story from Automata.
About right.
Anything. So I questioned how invested I was to dive into Replicant straight away. I feel like I can just wait for it to go on sale before diving in, perhaps toward the end of the year. So yes, I fully intend to check out Replicant. And again, he writes the version number all 3 of these times, just copying and pasting it.
Read it.
No. Looking ahead, I do plan to pick up Ratchet Clank A Rift Apart on launch. Just Rift Apart on launch, not because of any affinity for the series, although I do enjoy those games. I feel like that game is still hiding things that may blow me away from a technical standpoint, and I don't need a random GIF via scrolling through Twitter to spoil it. It also simply looks like fun. It's a funny perspective on a game. You're gonna blow my mind, aren't you? Okay.
You better had.
Wait a minute. I think this thing is gonna blow me away.
I will say,
Technically.
the Rise demo. The regular game is much better than the demo. The demo like throws you in and it's kind of weird.
Sure.
Yeah, the real game.
And from playing World a little bit, just running around on those dogs is
oh my
so
god,
great.
the Palamute.
Just literally getting into the thing and being like, all right, let's do the thing.
Yeah.
Okay, we're there. You know, like that.
It's a much streamlined Monster Hunter.
And I feel like they're just going to keep. They realize, whoa, we have a lot more people playing this than usual. Let's keep streamlining this whole process, and they'll get more and more people playing it. Although I think the most exciting thing about the game, Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, is something that doesn't have any personal impact on me or a feature that I'll use at all, the accessibility options. It's also nice to just not to see them being added, but given the spotlight as well. I hope they finally start to become a standard. Yeah, I'm curious how much Sony is like prodding, or if it's just these devs being super cool.
Yeah.
I would hope a bit of both. Again, it's like I don't want Sony to have to step in to make sure these things happen, but at the same time, I want Sony to like be responsible. And from Last of Us
built in a lot of the stuff into the OS, but yeah.
For PS5 exclusives, I bet Spider-Man 2 is going to have a lot of that stuff, and innovating in a lot of those ways. It's good to see. It's also nice to see them. Yes, I hope that's all for gaming, really. Watched some shows like the MCU ones on Disney Plus. Really enjoyed the first few episodes of WandaVision. It just felt like it took a dive once they got to doing some of the explaining of what was going on. I did enjoy Falcon and the Winter Soldier more than I thought I would. Also, Taskmaster continues to always be good fun. I do sometimes spiral down YouTube just looking up clips from comedians I get introduced to in that show. Usually clips from 8 out of 10 cats does Countdown or Would I Lie to You. I would also check out more things on HBO Max, but that app runs like garbage for me at least. Garbage. It runs like garbage. 2 things I hate about HBO. Sometimes it doesn't have with any of the other apps. Sometimes you boot up HBO Max and it's just like, no. And I have to restart
weird.
Apple TV. It's just like, just 3 dots on the bottom of the
Running
screen.
Running a Chromecast TV, I have no problems with HBO Max, but ironically, lots of problems with the YouTube app. And it's like, that's your own damn thing. Like, Google, what are you doing?
And when I'm watching my own stuff on HBO, it's fine. But when you have a child waiting for Sesame Street, in the morning, got to make sure Sesame Street's running before you get the kid up. But if you get the kid up and put him down and he's watching an HBO Max loading bar, you're in trouble.
Did it change when it went to HBO? Does it feel different?
Sesame Street?
Yeah.
I've been watching the old stuff, so do not know.
Okay.
There's a lot. It's a big universe to get into. Some of the newer puppets, I actually had to like look up a wiki and be like, who is that? Who are you? Baby Bear? Baby Bear. I could talk about Sesame Street all day. Got through those Disney Plus shows easy. Lupin and Queen's Gambit on Netflix, no problem. I'm curious about Lupin. Yeah, I'm curious about Lupin.
Watch Lupin still.
But it's just the subtitles. It's tough. You can't just watch it on the side. You gotta commit.
Yep.
Movies
gotta
too, no issues. I have zero confidence when it comes to watching anything on HBO Max. On the plus side, it helps limit down options when deciding what to watch with dinner. And there we are for comments. Thank you, Jason Sackle.
Thank you, Jason Sackle. Yeah, it's funny. HBO Max, I watch a lot on HBO Max.
They got a lot of stuff. I remember it was on something. I think it was you, Ian, where I was like, "Oh, I gotta watch the the Black Messiah, the Judas and the Black Messiah
Judas and the Black
on
Messiah.
HBO, and you were like, it's gone, and I was like, damn.
Yeah,
It's
I missed it too.
I waited far too long, and now it's gone. It's funny because we got screeners, so like Milo likes to go in there and organize them. He'll like open up our drawer and like take a screener out on like DVD and like pull it out, and I'm like, ooh, we already have the Trial of the Chicago 7 on our Netflix account, Milo, but if you want to watch the DVD, I can put that in. It's reasonably good script. I thought some parts were a little heavy-handed with the screenplay, but some really solid performances, a great cast. And he'll like take the DVD out and just put it in his mouth, and I was like, how does it taste though? I never even thought about how it tastes.
All five senses.
Yeah.
Film reviewer.
Got to text at Sorkin and be like, tastes pretty good.
That's why
he didn't complain. He didn't complain.
That's why they made
ate your show.
Switch cartridges taste bad, so that kids wouldn't eat them.
Because it's done. But all I'm saying is one of the Switch cartridges might taste good, and until we know for certain that it doesn't,
gotta test them all.
What are we to do as humans?
That would be a really funny move to make like Kirby taste good or something. It's like strawberry.
I can just imagine a Kotaku, the argument over who's going to write that story. Please, can I write it? Please, I love Kirby. I've been waiting my whole life to write the story. Please.
Tastes like cotton candy, just like Kirby.
Okay, you can finally write it. Okay, I got to go to the store and buy 20 of these, and I'll be right back. Just
You said I could.
I think they're all grape. I've eaten 6 of them right now. I think they're all grape. Such a bad idea to do that.
You're eating them?
Yeah. Because when you just lick it, it tastes like tastes like. What if you chewed on it? I don't know. It doesn't change the flavor, but until I eat 6 of them, I won't know.
You don't get the umami unless you swallow it.
They're certainly umami. Chumnuan, hey Brandon and Ian, I have trouble playing Resident Evil 4 because the controls are so different from what I'm currently familiar with. Ever feel that way? Yeah, I think with RE4, there's always that like, oh right, because it's like Uncharted 1, because you think you like Uncharted 1, you're so used to like how smooth everything is, and you go back and play Uncharted 1, you're like, oh, they were still figuring this out. I remember, it's just kind of wobbly. But RE4 is very specific. It's that yellow D-pad that Huber loves to rag on whenever I bring up GoldenEye. They're like, yes, it's unique, it's weird. We figured out a better way to do this. That's true. That's the thing about Gears of War. They were like, Cliff Bleszinski was playing RE4 and was like, what if I just do this one thing? I got a franchise. You're like, yeah, you did it. Bought a new TV, but my PC decided to die on me at the same time, so I'm typing on my phone and it sucks. I intended to replace it anyway, but with all the stuff accumulated through a decade, it's stuck in there. Hopefully I can extract them easily from there at some point, and I've been on a spending spree lately. A bicycle, a vacuum cleaner, a TV. If you could have any one of those 3 right now, Ian, what would you pick?
What was it? A vacuum, a bicycle?
Yeah, you're in a game show. You're in a game show, and there's door number 1, door number 2, and door number 3. A bicycle, a vacuum cleaner, and a TV.
Well, I already have a really dope bike and a really dope TV, and I don't have a vacuum, so I would take the vacuum.
Nice. It is. Sorry. I've been on a spending spree lately, so bad timing for it to happen. It is what it is, I guess. I hope your month started off well. Thanks for the emotional playthrough. Easy update, Ian. I felt it. And thank you, Brandon, for It Takes Two co-op. I think it's my favorite playthrough from either of you or and Blood. So good. Love and respect, Toju Engi, a.k.a. Chumnuan. And we have a bunch of lovely pieces of art as well. Yay. I love this, the instruction.
Yeah, that's cool.
I can't tell if the guy behind him is like training him or if he's just like making a big thing of noodles or something. I don't know. There might be some stuff going off.
I love that there's Tonfa. Mm-hmm. Since Suikoden 2, I always loved some good Tonfa.
Is that the little batons that he's got?
Little sticks, yeah.
Yeah, that's how Nightwing rolls.
Oh.
And I love the progress report of these images because I love doing this so much. Yoink. Coming together.
Oh, cool.
Chun-Li coming together. And Fiend.
Nice.
The border, the lighting. The muscles. Nice. Ian
So
Alexander, hello.
muscular.
Oh, yes. Ian Alexander, hello, Jones and Ian. This month I submitted 7 drawings for you to check out. I don't know if you've seen any of these, Ian. Have you seen the D&D pictures from Ian's campaign? Ian, have you seen Ian's pictures? Ian does good art. Ian.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I've seen them over the years. I haven't seen this one.
YouTube D&D campaign, Sword Coast Adventures. Here's one drawing of Nezuko from Demon Slayer. Oh, nice. We'll get to Nezuko in a second. But this is a continuation from the spooky one that just Huber happened to be on that month when he went through all his Resident Evil-ish stuff that he added to his campaign. This guy decidedly less scary.
Love
Pretty chill.
that.
Pretty chill. Does he have the horns, or is that part of the headband? I don't know. It's just fabulous.
Yeah.
Just the side eye.
Yeah.
And I love the vibe
Jolly.
here. Yeah, just such a very specific character. Such a very specific vibe. That's what I love. Again, just one of the things that I idolize with artists is the idea of just like making a person. I can create somebody in my head, but like realizing that in a drawing, because she has such a very specific vibe going on, a good vibe, and yeah, very curious. Hoping that's okay. Hoping you just like kind of like spilled a drink or something, but like I don't know. I think somebody's being murdered. Somebody's clearly being murdered, or something's being sacrificed.
My Fanta.
Or this could be like they got away from the villain.
Yeah.
This could be an Inspector Gadget moment, like Gadget. And then this is Nezuko from Demon Slayer.
I haven't seen Demon Slayer yet, so I don't know what's going on here. What's on her mouth?
Neither does Nezuko. I don't know, but I like the fingernails. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I've heard that show's really good.
I used a figure as a reference. Fun.
I love when you mispronounce things and then someone in text just writes it again to correct you.
Is it Nezuko? I don't know. Nezuko? So many different ways it can go.
Exactly. Who knows?
There's so many different ways that name can Nezuko.
Oh.
Oh. I recognize that character.
I love this.
One drawing from Link Between Worlds specifically, which I recently played through. Love and respect. Ian at Alexander_arts. Alexander regular spelling _arts. ARTS. And there we go for drawings. Boom. There we did it.
Whoa.
Yeah, sometimes I'm just overflowing with the drawings, but
drawings.
We're gonna dash right over to photographs from Nathan Coderoli. Hello, allies. In honor of finally receiving the vaccine, I pay homage to my favorite doctor this month. 30 colors, 6,750 beads were used to create this. I want to hear famous doctors. Who are we thinking this is?
Doctor Who.
Okay. That was my assumption as well. It's not.
Not? Okay. Who would you... What doctor?
Okay, Dr. Mario.
Dr. Mario.
Who'd be everyone's favorite doctor?
Robotnik.
Dr. Robotnik. Okay.
Joel, Shepard from Lost. Jack Shepard. He's a doctor.
Cool. Dr. Strange is fun.
Dr. Zhivago. Yeah.
Dr. Zhivago is a really good doc.
Dr. Seuss. Yeah.
Doc Brown.
Gordon Freeman. Is he a doctor?
It's actually the very first one that came up in chat. Here we go. Is this letting you know maybe how this is going to go? Can you possibly see?
Is that a Dr. Mario pill?
Possibly, maybe. Or slowly kind of coming together. Maybe we can see it together. 6,750 beads. Yes.
Damn.
Yes.
Damn. That's some patience.
And it's fun. It's fun to just kind of also step away.
Yeah. Are these the things that you like iron it then and it becomes a solid? What are those called?
I kind of don't want to know too much about Nathan's process because I imagine just magic. I imagine literally he like thinks really hard and these things all kind of like stop motion style just like all come together.
I remember they were talking about perlers a lot during Awesome Games Done Quick, and I thought they were talking about parlor, and I was like, whoa, are all these people like bad news? What the hell's going on here? And then I learned what perlers were, and I was like, oh, okay. Very different.
When you're holding on to the critical piece of information to decide whether you're going to like people or not. You're like, wait a minute. Am I instantly out? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
From Monica,
you have
hello.
A parlor or a perler?
Yeah.
Very
parlor
important
or perler
distinction.
Is this a parlor or a perler situation? From Monica, hello Brandon, hello Ian. Blood Soundtrack Club and Ian getting a brand new record player. I hope it already arrived and you're happy with it. Inspired me to share a few pieces of my vinyl collection. Ooh. I grew up listening to vinyl records thanks to my wonderful parents while I enjoyed music on cassettes, CDs, and now mostly digital releases. So convenient. I always thought vinyls are the coolest, and seeing the comeback now, I can't help but think how lucky we are, especially when it comes to video game soundtracks. I remember just a few years back, you could easily keep track of everything that was being released and buy most of it. Now we have so many new labels, so many editions, box sets, represses, and re-releases. Anyway, somebody pointed out that I just like put this in the background. I think I broke street date on this. I got this from Rockstar. I know it's backwards. Sorry. The house building EP.
I was looking at that. Well, is it just about the house building?
It's just those tracks. Yeah.
Wow.
Some songs inspired by it, and just that part.
That's
that
a
portion of
good.
the game.
That part is good. That's a good part.
It's a good part of the game.
Takes 3,000 hours to get to it.
I know, it's so good. It's so funny. It's funny because like I play something like Persona 5 and I'm just like, oh man, this is a long game. And like the people who love Persona 5 are like, I know, like people that
so
bounced
funny.
off of RDR2 are like, this game's so long, and I'm like, I know. They're like, all I want to do is just get back to Saint Denis, and it takes 20 minutes to ride there on my horse. I'm like, hee hee.
You're like, woo.
We all like to torture ourselves in various ways. Oh boy.
I just hated Dutch. I just hated Dutch.
Oh, I hated a lot of people in that game, for
Everything
sure.
else, I was like, this is pretty great. But
Anyway, last year I bought this box for some of my vinyls. It provides easy storage, protection from dust, and I find it quite convenient, although I did make the surprise Pikachu face when I tried to lift it to move around and realized
it's probably
it
pretty
does
heavy.
nothing for the weight. I love when I made the mistake my freshman year in college when I bought boxes to store things in because I was going to stay in the same dorm. And so they're like, well, store things for the summer. And I was like, oh, I'll buy the biggest box they have, obviously. And then I like fit everything into it in my room like a smart guy, and then sealed it and was like, yeah. And then just stared at it, was like, shit. What was I thinking? It's like, how the hell am I going to move this thing? Like,
I did.
okay.
I did that for a move one time where I filled a sizable box with books, and then I tried to lift it, and I was like, oh, like this is incredibly heavy books.
Whoops. So yeah, that's why they made those little book boxes. That's why they call those books boxes. Because if you're storing books, is this
Split them up,
hold and carry many, and they're like bricks. If they don't build a brick house, they don't have like a giant brick. They go, here's the brick.
There's the brick. We carved the house out of this brick.
The brick the size of a wall. It's not how they do it. But I am nerdy about these vinyls that we're about to show off that are fantastic. I'm also nerdy about this case. The organizational nerd in me is like, oof, that's some good casing. That's some good stickers.
Love the Mondo sticker.
So for this showcase, I picked a few records from it, and I hope it'll inspire some of the allies to give those a listen on YouTube or Spotify, as I do most of the time. Once again, so convenient, because it's all great music. Love and respect, Monica. Tara Evan, or Taraven? Taraevyn on Twitch. Here we go. Damn it. Bastion. This is my most favorite soundtrack from Supergiant, and having the special edition with the music sheet signed by Darren Korb is a dream. Great sentimental value. Lagrange Point. I never heard about this game until I listened to a podcast mentioning the soundtrack. Love at First Sound? Absolutely stellar NES soundtrack. Katamari Damacy, or Damacy, depending on who you ask. One of the classics. People love this game and the music. The music is so
Those Mondo
so
releases
good.
are so good too.
It's tough. I think the music for the series is just better than the game. It just eclipses the highs that the game brings you to. Because there are moments where I'm not really enjoying the game, but I'm like, bah, 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 like it's carrying me. The vinyl release is very neat. I love the artwork, and the discs themselves come in screen printed poly bags that make them look like Katamari. Hotline Miami 1 and 2, which I could see from the case. Like you could see Hotline from the side, which was nice.
That'd be a good.
In both cases. Oh, so good. Hotline Miami was a Kickstarter from Laced Records, which is a very well-established label now, and while the sound is excellent, the quality of the package could be better. Hotline Miami 2, I think, is the very first soundtrack I ever bought on vinyl. I pre-ordered it in December 2014, and the cost of the shipping made me second-guess my life choices. Anyway, it's a good thing I was a huge Hotline Miami fan when these came out, because aftermarket prices are a bit high now. Nice.
I'm waiting on my Kentucky Route Zero vinyl coming sometime. I missed the Mist one. I missed the Mist. Someone linked it to me. 2 or 3 people linked it to me, and it was already sold out. And I was like,
Kentucky Route Zero is like a what's the word I'm looking for? Hello, I'm sleepy. A retirement game. Like when I'm like 68, I'm like, all right, I gotta stop doing this. Honey, I'm retiring. All right, Kentucky Route Zero, let's do it. So I can really dive in. Just for, I'm not saying in general for everybody, just for me. It's just right on that edge of interest, but it's just like, I see pictures and I'm like, I gotta know what this crazy game is about. This thing with the forest and the flying with the truck by the, is this all the same game? Like, yeah.
I wonder what you'd think of it.
Yeah,
it's not that
wild.
long, like as chat says.
Okay.
Fly rule.
Tempting. It's funny to hear. It's always funny what quote unquote not that long means. You were talking about some show, or Brad or Ben was talking about some show with Huber, and they're like, "It was only like 46 hours," and it's like, "Oh, okay, it's not bad." It's like, listen to yourselves.
Yeah, those guys have a different scale of time. I don't know.
Fly Rule by Shag. I think this one might be the first chill albums, like the Zelda and Chill or Poke and Chill, that are quite popular nowadays. All the tracks are remixes from Ocarina of Time, and I think they're very fun and well done. I love that cover too.
Yeah.
And finally, Shadow of the Beast. I love this cover. I love this. The loincloth and the metal guards and the fist. The eye. Again, one of those old games I knew nothing about until I heard the soundtrack and instantly fell in love. I watched the gameplay many times just because of the music. This is one of my all-time favorites, a masterpiece. Yes. It's fun to be into soundtracks from games that we don't. Final Fantasy VII, like, still haven't played to completion, but like that soundtrack, get out of here. Get out of here. Like, ridiculous. I've listened to that soundtrack independently so many times. Like, there are character tracks of Final Fantasy where I'm like, oh, that theme of that character that I have almost zero context for because I just don't know, you know.
Are you talking OG Final Fantasy or remake?
No, the whole thing. No, yeah, OG. I mean, the music and remake is great, but again, it's all built on that.
Did you finish remake?
Nomura did.
No?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Okay, I was like, because I thought you finished
Heck
remake.
Yeah, just didn't. Played up to that first village when it's like, oh, good for making it out of Midgard. Do you want a lore dump? And I'm like, yeah, sure. Oh,
yeah, shit gets weird.
Got through the end of that lore dump and then was like, save. Cool, I'll get back to this later.
Shit gets real weird.
It does. Yeah, but love these. Thank you. What a fun thing.
Today
and something that we don't
birthday?
do. For as much as we show off Legos, we don't show off a lot of album covers.
Yeah.
Very, very fun. And super different.
I've still got Agnes
game covers
here next to me.
Today is Tifa's birthday? For real?
Today is also Elise Willems' birthday.
Woo! All right. Hall of Greats. Who gets in? Tifa or Elise Willems first?
Isn't Final Fantasy already in there?
Not a Final Fantasy. Tifa. Specific.
Oh.
Yeah, I guess.
No comment, I guess. But knowing the guys, probably Tifa.
Switching to screenshots, which we would be skipping entirely if it was not obviously for the tireless efforts of Asbo Zapruder, aka Screaming Argonaut, in chat, talking about game lore, dropping us crazy lore from Poppleton. Good afternoon, allies. Hope you're doing well. As I write this, I'm currently between doses of the Pfizer vaccine, and I've been thinking a lot about how to wrap my head around this last year. Good luck. This is something that we'll be telling future generations about. Oh, I can't wait. And that can be great. During my day. You know.
We spent a whole damn year on the internet inside.
Because we're inevitably going to have another pandemic. It's going to happen again. We're going to have some other thing. We're all going to have to stay at home. We're going to be like, God, not again. And then, like, you know, the younger generation is going to be like, hey, do we have to stay at home all month? And we're just like, like, shut up, you.
Try a year and a half.
Yeah.
We got to help out India, man. Shit is
but even, oh my goodness.
bad over there.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to do something.
Priorities. But I mean, I remember even getting into 2021. We were like, let's just buckle up for the whole of next year, you know. And it's nice to even think, okay, it might not be all of that, you know. It's nice to have it be potentially maybe less than what we thought. It feels important to step back and think of something meaningful to tell them about how they were getting through this strange, extraordinary time. Bah. This, of course, leads us to Animal Crossing. Here's what's been happening on the island of Poppleton. Number 1, a dream came true. Okay, hold on. Let me click all of these suckers so I can go through. And I will think of Twin Peaks every single time I see that background.
I love
Twin Peaks every time. Every time Twin Peaks. Somebody made a dream of this, like where you could, it was dreams and you just kept walking through it and it kept repeating and repeating. And I was just
Twin
like,
Peaks? Oh, the White Lodge?
I could do this for a while.
Lodge?
This is fun. Yeah. Number 1, a dream came true for me when I was invited to appear on Poppleton's favorite panel show, Errand Overlord. Things started off well in the first challenge where we were told to bring the puffiest item. I and my pufferfish came in first place. Nice. But I knew I had stiff competition when I saw Patty's entry for the make the best thing out of a pumpkin challenge. Ian, this reminds me of when Bossman and I were streaming Pokemon Silver, and I had the bug catching contest, and I had no idea what was going on. I had no expectations, and like we didn't win, and Kyle was so pissed, like, and I just didn't care, you know. So it was fun sitting next to Bossman, like fuming and being like, "Yay, participation award, woohoo!" Like, not sure how I should feel.
That's so funny.
But I knew I had stiff competition when I saw Patty's entry for the Make the Best Thing Out of a Pumpkin challenge. I did pretty good at the Camouflage Yourself in a Room challenge.
Whoa.
It's in there somewhere. But Patty aced the Make a Music Video version for a nursery rhyme challenge. What's the nursery rhyme? I don't know.
Fork
Chat?
and the spoon, they ran away with the
Oh, she's jumping over the moon.
cow
Yeah.
jumped over the moon. Yeah.
There she goes. It all came down to the final challenge: throw an orange into the bucket without touching the rug.
This is so funny. I love this.
Asbo, do you write it and then capture it? Do you capture it and then write it?
Yeah.
I wonder. It probably
Also,
goes in
your
both.
character
Probably goes,
looks so fly.
yeah. That's the
That's a
Dimitrescu
nice
hat.
haircut. Yeah.
But I was so happy when I won, but the video review revealed something shocking. Oh no. Oh no.
You stepped on the carpet? No. This is like an episode. There's an episode of Taskmaster where that kind of happens. It's so
I was disqualified, but to both of our surprises, Patty didn't win either. In the end, it was Frobert who had the most points and was declared the winner. Even though I didn't win, I had a lot of fun, and I was glad when I was asked to appear. And I have pretty high hopes. And I have pretty high hopes for my upcoming appearance on Anagrams and Math. Anyway, that was April. I'm almost positive May will be much calmer. Until then, Asbo Zapruder, a.k.a. Screaming Argonaut.
I love that.
The teams. What's the dog? The dog isn't on a team? What's going on? He could just do it by himself?
Smart enough. Or maybe the host.
I felt bad when I rewatched Spider-Man Homecoming when he like bails on this team and then comes back and he's like, "Oh, you're back on the team." And I was like, "That's not fair.
Yeah.
Peter, you're a jerk." Whatever, man. Ooh, you know what?
Zendaya is Michi.
I'm gonna switch over to music. I'm gonna cheat a little
LeBron
bit here.
James is Kwangi.
And where did you go? Eric Jackson. Eric Jackson, you're next.
And
But
Jackson.
I didn't. And Jackson. But I'm going to. Whew.
Already excited about this.
Desktop browser histories. Yeah, this is from a game called Blood Bjarn.
Bjarn.
Blood
Baby
Bjarn.
Bjorn.
We were talking about favorite doctors. Like, isn't there a doctor? Isn't that the guy who does blood administration? Isn't he technically a
Yeah.
doctor?
Well, and Yosefka's like a researcher,
All right, we don't need to get into it.
I think. They're all
Eric
like
Jackson.
scholars.
Hey there, Brandon and Ian. I'm writing this just before the deadline. As always, for this month, I wanted to submit another piece of semi-crunchy VO in the form of a short story of my own. It was conceived last month, written on Saturday, then recorded on Sunday. I'm not as proud of it as I would like. Whoever.
Who is? Yeah.
What? But I'm happy and content enough to give it the labor I put into it between planning for Sunday night D&D. The levels are all over the place and the character work isn't great, but I'm happy to share it all with the same people I know will appreciate the subject matter. Love and respect, Eric, aka Jax on Deck, in Twitch chat, to be read. To be read after the audio. I got a surprise for you. I got one last little message for everyone before we continue. Take it away. Come on, Blood. Or come on, Jones. You can do it. Play it. You can do it, Jones. You can do it. Come on, Jones. There you go.
On this night, a red moon hangs low, and a cinderous light is seen between the twisting parapets of the city. Chaos in the streets. A child sits fetal, hiding near the waterways of Old Yarnum. Near her can be seen the freshly cloven body of a beast, whose insides froth and steam in the cool night air. Its slayer rushes past, seemingly blind to all besides the hunt. In the distance, she hears the echoing screams of men and women and the roaring bellows of countless more beasts, those who have fallen to the scourge. She hears a distant blast, heralding another shower of flames to further engulf the town. Then the sound of footsteps approaching, and two voices calling out to each other.
It's no use. They've barred the doors to the upper city. We have to keep trying. Curse the healing church and their foul hunters. Their fire burns so hot. Keep moving. I hear one of those things coming this way.
The men rush past her without a glance, their clothes somewhat burnt and caked in deep crimson. All the fear and doubt she was suffering now doubled at the thought of no escape from the city. With a deep breath, she pushes herself from her hiding place, wishing to find somewhere to hide until dawn. Just then, a heart-stopping sound twists its way from around a nearby corner as another feral creature approaches. Its wolf-like body bent and prostrate, and its yellow gleaming eyes affixed right on her. A pause is held between the two, and the whole world stops for a moment, before a booming explosion blasts from a nearby storefront, casting fire across the street, cutting off the two, and forcing the beast to flee in terror. Sensing movement from behind, the child turns to see an older man with gray hair and a beard. Instinct is for her to pull away. That is, until she sees two small figures flanking the tall man. She looks first into the faces of the two young boys before shifting her gaze back into the face of the man. Though it is haggard with age and experience, there is a deep kindness that she can sense.
Well now, how did you end up here? No matter. Come with us, and we'll keep each other safe. I am Dura.
A calm moment passes before the child reaches and takes his outstretched hand, and together head off into the ceaseless night.
Yo. That's so good.
Yeah, Eric.
Jura, dude.
I want this to come across as a compliment, but these things, these reads you do where you're like insane, you're good at those. Like you submitted lots of, Eric likes Lovecraft, as I do as well. And so I'm enjoying very much Eric doing creepy stuff. It's not even October. What did we do to deserve such
nice
awesomeness?
vibes.
P.S. Watch Boxbeat. Thank you for Mick Jackson.
I've heard of it.
And now we are in music from Keanu La'a. Hey, Jones and Ian, I've been playing music for about 20 years now, ever since I was a kid, but I've never really tried my hand at writing songs much or recording and producing my own music. I'm still dipping my toe in the water, but thanks to a bunch of influences, including one Ian Hink, I've been trying my hand at recording music I compose. What follows is something I hope to do for every ally eventually, but no promises on any regularity. I wanted to imagine every ally is an NPC in an RPG-style video game. They offer services or run shops for the player. Also, I wanted to write the music for every ally's shop. This is my entry for the mysterious drifter, only known by the name Jones. Jones can be found in the saloon at his usual table, sipping a cup of tall, dark steaming brew. His loyal steed, Sophie, sits beneath the table, eyes locked on any stranger approaching her master. I like in this world I ride Sophie. You imagine Sophie's like a little bit bigger, but can you imagine just really tired with Sophie like, my knees are like dragging on the ground. I'm just like,
Yeah.
going from town to town.
It's like slow.
There's that mysterious drifter. What's he doing riding a dog? Don't say nothing. he gets mighty upset when you say that to his face.
Don't look at the dog.
That dog seems to be in pain. Someone's better do something about his steed. Clearly not a large enough dog to support a man of his size. That's all I'm saying.
Dog's going to develop.
I enjoy his
arthritis.
store and the wares that he sells, but somebody must get in between him and his dog. Buy him a horse, something. The many horses look like dogs. Word is Jones used to be an expert ranger and tracker, and for that, the right price, he'll do anything for you. Towers, collectibles, enemy locations, dungeon entrances, you name it. Anyways, I hope that both of you like it. It's very amateur because I'm still learning my way around synths and production techniques. This is my theme, everybody. You knocked it so far out of the park in the first try. I'm going to be walking around to this. If I ever get into Major League, this will play when I go up to bat. I tried my best. Ian, I already have something I'm playing around with, so I hope I've improved by the next time you join the showcase. Thanks for the inspiration, you guys. Love and respect. Keanu La'a, a.k.a. Fleetwood, with the O's being the zeros in Twitch chat. And everybody, just take it. Get ready to be in the Jones zone. Oh, so good. And again, I'm recording it, so it takes me a
Run it back to the beginning. Something popped into my head. I want to see if it works. I was trying to think if you could put the Way by Fastball onto it. Left before the sun came up that day. Yeah. No, that was a great song. Love it.
You know what, Keanu? Call me. I would love this to be corrections music. This would be dynamite corrections music.
Oh, that's good.
It's very procedural. It seems like a podcast bit. Something's going to go over this. And again, I love to talk. So me talking over that is, yeah.
And they
Keanu, love that. Don't put that song in my head. Adam Henschel.
Before the sun came up that day. Yeah, I think it would fit.
Hey, Brandon and Ian. Unfortunately, we are without video this month, and it's been a little hectic balancing projects and work, but I did manage to finish a rendition of the song by the name of Ryland, originally written by one of my favorite modern jazz guitarists, Julien Lage. Since this composition takes some inspiration from the blues as well as the classic gospel harmony, my goal was to lean into those influences and create something a little more raw and emotive, both on the softer and louder ends of the spectrum. Thanks, as always, for hanging out with these submissions, and I hope you enjoy this take on Julien Lage's Ryland. Have a great May. Adam, just for pronunciation's sake. Oh, yeah. Julian's last name is pronounced as Lage, in the same vein as garage, so hopefully I did that right. Lage. Also, I'm aware it's over the time limit, so feel free to cut it off whenever. Oh, I will. Take it away. It's 30 over. We'll see. piano.
Piano coming in. I love this game.
It goes places.
That was great. That was really good.
That was a super, super, super chill vibe. I really
Yeah,
enjoyed that
Love
vibe.
that. Yeah.
It's one of those vibes that, like, when you're in it, you're like, God, how can I get back here? I like being here right now. I don't want this to end. From Kieran Little, aka Mr. Coneman in chat. Hi, Jones and Ian. Remember how weird Death Stranding seemed when we first saw it? And the concept of everyone stuck in their homes getting things delivered to them was an actual reality? Anyway, those original trailers were some of the best ever. The music was a huge part of that. My girlfriend Sam joins me on this cover of Asylums for the Feeling from the original trailer. P.S. She's never sung for other people before, and I only convinced her to let me submit this because the community is always so, quote, love and respect. Be on your best behavior, chat. P.S. Sam is a frequent viewer of reaction shots and wanted me to tell Ian that she listened to his recommendation and finally watched Melancholia. Her review was, quote, beautiful movie, but why did I watch this during a pandemic? Existential crisis. Love and respect, Kieran and Sam. P.S. Apologies if this has any copyright issues as it's a cover of licensed music. But I hope this is okay. We're also over the time limit. Feel free to cut off when appropriate. Everybody with these emotional pushes.
Bloodworth handle it.
Yeah. Yeah. Take it away.
Remix.
Take it away.
Very cool.
Just wonderful.
Very cool.
And completely way over the time limit. But it's like, how am I going to stop that?
How are you going to stop that? Especially with like the drums came in and then the bass
These comments are people are like, so I submitted a thing. It's really important to me emotionally and the people that I worked with. It's a minute and a half over the thing, but you trim it. It's like, you make me the bad guy.
Yeah.
You trim it. Because this
don't abuse it though.
What a wonderful moment, obviously, for all of us to support.
I loved it. That was great.
Support your gal in her incredible performance. That was really great. Yeah, I got way into that jam.
The vibes in that game are just so good.
Yeah, you get into a vibe and then it's over. It's like, oh, we're doing stream.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's Kevin Gillet to pull us right back into another vibe. Hello, Brandon and Ian. For the second time in the showcase, here's an original piece of music from a project where I created a fantasy world to contextualize the music I write as themes for places, characters, events from a shared universe. Last time, many months ago, I shared a Japanese-inspired theme that represented a magical spell from my people of air. Now, after way too long, I finally did another piece for that project, and it's a reinterpretation of the main theme, but for the fifth age of this world, when it becomes closer to sci-fi than fantasy, which is basically my excuse to ditch the orchestral style for synths. And no, I don't have Ian's treasure trove of sonic contraptions, so this is just made using Korg Gadget for the Switch. It's back!
Korg Gadget!
And some help from my Yamaha MOX F8 keyboard. Stay safe, stay strong, be kind, love and respect. Kevin Gillet.
So good at Korg Gadget.
Yeah.
It's
I enjoy
wild.
also your attempts at making us not excited for your music, Kevin. It doesn't work every time. You're like, this is just a thing that I did for a thing. It's going to be amazing. Stop it. Ian, look. Excuse me?
I'm listening.
We're in the fifth age. Can you feel it?
Oh, I can feel it.
I just love Uzi. Fourth age was trash compared to this.
Yeah, for sure.
I just want a ship that flies around a big city and it's
Yeah,
raining.
man.
Is that too much to ask? I want a flying car.
Yeah. And it can go into space.
I just want to like have a ship that I keep going back to and fly to other planets. That's like actually a super cool thing that nerds would love to own, but I hate it because I own a ship.
Have
You know, it's like Star Wars. Like, oh, that Falcon is such a hunk of junk. It's like there's nothing I want more in life. There's literally no object like I could want other than this amazing ship that they all hate.
Give me the Bebop. Give me the Falcon.
They're like inside the Falcon and shaking. It's like, the shocks in this are terrible. It's like, please shake me, Falcon. Shake me, please. I want to be in the Falcon. I want to shake. Kevin.
Very
some
good.
Good stuff. Makes me want to play Mass Effect. Makes me, you know what I instantly started thinking of as the next Thor. I can't wait till that trailer drops.
Oh yeah, that'll be fun.
Did
you watch that Marvel trailer today?
Oh no, Amanda said that was kind of cool. Where it was like, here's what's coming. Like, fairly hype building.
It's emotional. It's an emotional trailer.
Oh, okay. Just wrapped up our MCU and forgot. I mean, you remember that it's there, but then when you press play on Disney Plus, you forget it's coming. But in the beginning of Captain Marvel, the like Stan tribute with the logo, we were both like,
Yeah.
So good. And him on the bus is so clearly digitally added later. I never looked into this. I wonder if chat knows. How did they get him for Endgame? With his like make love not war. Was that clear? That must have been from something else that they never used.
I heard they shot a bunch of them ahead of time. That was what I'd heard, but I don't know if that's true.
Because that is so perfect. Like that's such a beautiful send off for him. You know, at the very end, just like right out of his era. Like, you know, this is when I was the king of the world. Like, I love it.
Did we skip Samo Rosman?
Oh, Samo did. Yeah, Samo wrote some poetry, but then I thought. Yes, I have it actually. I have it in a separate tab, but I don't know why I didn't. Samo, did I just? I got you all in here, man. I did. Let's go back here, and then I'll read some poetry. Thank you, chat, for making me an honest man. Aloha, Brandon and Ian. May is my birthday month. It's a Midwestern greeting of yours. May is my Midwestern month, and my present this year is to be fully vaccinated by month's end, so I can finally get out of the house on a regular basis. Also, getting to watch Bad Batch is pretty good too. Do you know what Bad Batch is? Bad Batch.
Well, there's the cannibal movie, but then there's also the Star Wars animated.
And I was like, oh, we're getting like an offshoot about Bad Batch. And then they like had a trailer for it. And it's like, oh no, this is Clone Wars season 8. It's just like them sneakily like
rebrand,
slipping another thing in there. And all those characters are coming to Galaxy of Heroes. So got my second troop team is coming together.
Dude.
Woo! And they're all easy. Sometimes they add characters and they're like, you're never unlocking this. And you're like, nah. But like old Luke from like episode 8, like in 9, no way. No way. Am I unlocking that
really
character?
Hard
like,
to get or something?
Yeah, it's like near impossible. You're spending money on that. There's no way you're just like happing upon that character. But the Bad Batch characters are like, have them. It'll be tough to level up, but you just, if you want to unlock them, sure. With tomorrow being Star Wars Day and Disney, and Disney Parks finally, at the start of 2020, I shared a few haikus with you with the promise of more poetry that would be forthcoming. With the last year being what it was, I worked on a few pieces off and on, and I have a completed poem for you in addition to a bonus one from my younger, more introspective days. More in the works for later. With tomorrow being Star Wars Day and Disney Parks finally starting to open up more, I would like to share a slideshow video I put together for my 2014 trip to Walt Disney World for the first Star Wars weekends. Oh, okay, wait. This is what I might have missed. Sorry, I grabbed the poetry. I thought that was it. It was my third trip in the park for the first going with my 90s with my dad just after Blizzard Beach opened, then once again in the early 2000s. Hopefully I'll get to do it again soon. As always, mahalo nui loa for everything you do. May the 4th be with you all. Love and respect, Samuel Rosman, a.k.a. Namzor. And I botched this completely. Entirely. Crazy, though. I got the poetry. I guess that was just for everybody, but the video was really what you wanted to submit. Sorry. I got these awesome poems I want to read. Ugh. But I guess the video is the thing. Haha, now you have to cover for me because I covered for you while you were having your
You're not meant to do both? The poems and the slideshow?
Nah, man. You can submit text work or you can submit videos. You can't submit both.
Coo-wee.
I'm assuming.
Everyone who submits a video also submits text explaining the video.
Well, no, I mean, that's where people push it big time.
Goosey around
like,
here.
here's some photographs of something. Also, here's 500 words on this. Like, that's not advised, but I can't stop you. Yeah, you gave me like a password to access. Okay, there we go. Sorry. I got a password to access a text doc. I got so excited. And I was like, oh, wait, that's not the thing you want? Okay. There's always one. There's always one person that slips through the cracks. Doo-doo. And there's also Ashes of Aranea, which we have to get to, which we've talked about. Ashes of Aranea kicking ass in Dragon's Dogma, which we talked about. Dragon Souls, Demon's Dogma, Dragon's Souls.
Born Demon's Dark.
Come on now, get that.
My custom table to hold my custom synth rack arrived yesterday. My friend Kit, who made it, brought it. And it's beautiful.
Nice.
But the custom synth rack won't be here for another 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
2 weeks. 2 weeks. You know, from that movie.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't know? 2 weeks. It's 3 weeks,
Nixon?
I think. Might be 3. Yeah, that is Richard Nixon.
Is it? Because in
It's- no, it's
Futurama,
not.
they always make him wobble his head like that whenever they do Nixon.
I love it. There's one commentary where like 2 of the voice actors argue over their Nixons. You know, they're like,
really?
I clearly do the better Nixon. It's like, no, you don't. Like, my Nixon's way better than yours. Arguing over Nixons. Clayton Oath 693 got it. Yeah, it's Total Recall. And it is 2 weeks, right? So when he's hiding, he's got the robot mask on. And he's like, how long will you be in town? She's like, 2 weeks. And he's like, and here's some other security question. She's like, 2 weeks. He's like, what? And he flips out. 2 weeks.
I need to rewatch Total Recall. It's been a couple of years.
Okay, well, let's get over to the videos then. And this will be a video that we'll watch. Now we want
I don't know what's going on anymore.
Sure you do. Video's coming up and you're going to enjoy it.
Oh, love that. Oh,
Yeah, so this is, once again, a slideshow I put together. And there's some poetry, again, if you want it. Patreon.com/EasyAllies. Community Showcase, May 2021. You can see that. You can read that poetry. And apologies if you wanted me to read the poetry instead of the video, but I will. I mean, you know me. I always go to video over text. I would also like to share a slideshow video. Yes, we're doing the video. You can enjoy the poetry on your own. And this is my 2014 trip to Walt Disney World after the first Star Wars weekends after the acquisition by Disney.
I recall the time. Remix.
I think this is just, it's not Star Wars music. I think it's just a...
Sounds pretty
Fun.
accurate. It's good.
It has that almost Star Wars vibe.
Yeah.
I love Dooku just walking down the street.
Yeah.
Bosk, yeah, with the arms. Yeah. There's some tall Jawas.
Yeah.
Mon Mothma, what's up?
Obi-Wan.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. They would bust out a lot of people in costume, and again, there's like companies that you can call up, and you're like, I'd like a bunch of Star Wars fans in costume, please. And they're like, when? And then you pick a time, and they'll show up. But like on the Disney marathons, they used to do the Star Wars marathon. They would have one stretch that was just like all Jedi and troopers and everybody in costume, and it was tough because you're like running a marathon. You're like, I want to keep going, but my God, that's an amazing cosplay. You know, I want to stop, take pictures of that person, but I also want to stop running.
That's so
there
funny.
There we go. And as long as we're here, let's do Ashes of Aranea's video. And again, this is some Dragon's Dogma.
Oh, I love this game. Wow. Ow. Melting it for you, Jones. Oh my God. Melted.
Really quick, sorry. This month I finished my latest journey into Dragon's Dogma Normal hard mode, wiped the floor with all the bosses, and got to live in Infinity. Since I don't want to spoil the game for you, Jones, I'm just going to kill that Drake that wiped out 2 hours of progress from the Dragon's Dogma stream a few times.
You read this part. You read that already.
I just want to make sure, just for context.
I was just quoting The Princess Bride. My God.
Wow.
So crazy, dude.
Wow. Wow.
Wind his
What? Here we go. Here we go. Wow. Wow. Oh my goodness.
How do you have so many different specs that are so good? What's happening?
What a cool spell. Just the AoE from hell. Hello.
Killing this Drake over and over again. Because this is the one that killed you and yeah, made you lose all that
Nice, nice.
time. Oh, the hard cut.
Extremely hard cut. Oof.
That was awesome.
Bruised myself on that cut a little bit. All right, there we go. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Choo, 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 choo. Now for your regularly scheduled videos. No, we're going back to music. Going back to music. Which just means
What's going on here?
Which just means that text is changing. That's all that's switching up. But we got to wrap up with Ben Fitter, our music section. Hey, Ian and Jones. Actually had to start preparing the song a few months ago for the next time Ian was on. But luckily, it took a few months to rotate back around to his turn. So a couple fortunate things happened in the meantime. I was originally just going to do a piano edition, but thanks to Twitch chat, I was able to team up with the one and only Mr. Cone Man, who contributed more than I could have ever expected, and even brought in his friend to provide vocals. Then in March, almost like fate, it just so happened that Jones serendipitously started a playthrough of this very game. Hopefully you both enjoy. Love and respect, Ben F.
Oh my God. Oh my God, yeah. I was hoping I'd do this.
Opportune moments cut off the song, surpassing the 3-hour time limit, but I did say
3 hour.
3 minutes. I couldn't see this for 3 hours.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just D-Day in chat right now. I've never played Dragon's Dogma, but this is sick.
Dude, the Into Free is just like, it's like the perfect nexus of legitimately badass song and so weird and ridiculous and like kind of like dumb but amazing. Like,
Yeah.
it's
Why
like
am
the
I
best
enjoying
song
this? It's
ever.
always good to
It's-
always good to ponder when you're listening to music. Why do I
Yeah,
like this?
why do I love this? Like, it's one of those songs where you're just like, this is so dumb, but so perfect and so good. Ah,
It's
just is
when you see
everything.
when I'm watching musicians enjoying themselves playing it, are they enjoying it because it's dumb, or are they legitimately appreciating it in the moment for the art that they're creating?
it
or
like
is it all
comes
coming
back
together?
around. It like comes back
How-
around
Yeah.
to being just like purely sick. Oh my god. Into Free, dude.
It's like I'm inside of a dryer, right? And the dryer's running, and like
Yeah.
one half of the dryer is cheesiness, and the other half is awesomeness, and I'm just like,
And like weird, like bizarre lyrics, like translated lyrics that are just so good. Oh, I love that song. Fantastic
collabs.
rendition too.
and
My
collabs.
God.
I mean, he loved.
Yeah,
loved to see
so
that, but-
good.
But enough. Just seriously enough of Kieran Little. Just enough. I'm just come on, man. Pushing the time limit, collabing with other people. Enough.
Keep doing it.
Someone's got to put a stop to it. And I will
When
by
it's
switching
into
to
free,
videos.
when it's into free or Snake Eater,
Okay.
you know,
Okay.
you get a pass from me.
I love though I saw Kevin Chalet write in chat. He was like, almost every track I write now is 3 minutes long just by default. He's like, just in case. You know, like I might submit this someday. I don't know. Just saves the time of having to
that's so
rewrite it or
funny.
edit it.
For me,
Alexander
I find
Zurianov.
like they're either like 2 minutes or 5.
Right.
They're either like really short or like kind of too long.
I was doing the last episode of Mindful Games. The end was on Animal Crossing. And it was like 5 minutes and 45 seconds. I was like, whoa, that's really short. Oh well. I guess that's it. Like I'm not gonna like write another page.
Yeah.
Just cause. Like no, I'm done. Alexander Zurianov. Hello, Brandon and Ian. Do you like when video games have bugs?
Sometimes.
Sometimes they're fun.
Depends
I love
on
it.
the bug.
I love it for many reasons. Glitches can give you an insight on how video games actually work. They can introduce fascinating troubleshooting puzzles that would make you feel really smart upon completion. They can personalize your gameplay experience by making some parts much easier or much harder. And if the game isn't that good, entertaining bugs can be the only reason to keep playing. It's been 8 months since my last tribute to this marvelous aspect of video games, so without further ado, here's a collection of bugs from just a few games I've played recently.
Awesome.
I don't know if I would call this a bug, but like just something that's been depressing me that I've seen a lot, like looking at you, Ubisoft, because it's mostly in Immortals and Assassin's Creed. It's just like a texture that they clearly put there and then moved on. You know,
forgot, yeah.
I'm like coming up to like walking up a hill towards a staircase, and the gap between the bottom of the staircase and the hill is like significant. You know, and I'm like staring at it like, no one saw this? Like that's
Yeah.
crazy. That
There's a
no
big old gap right here.
like Assassin's Creed Valhalla, it's like, yeah, of course no one saw that because no developer's been in this patch since the day they built it because this game is so insanely way too massive. Whereas like a DLC for Immortals, I don't know, it's not that big. Like it's weird that you didn't run up this
yeah.
hill toward this pedestal again. I'm
Swordfish.
assuming. Otherwise, you would have so clearly seen. a
Important
huge gap
tip
there.
for people in chat playing Returnal: do not wear the DLC or deluxe or pre-order suits. They make doors not open. Yeah,
Right.
just
You
stick to
need-
the
and you need
normal
those
suit.
doors.
Restart your game. Stick to
Right.
the normal suit.
Take it away, Alexander Zerina. You hate to see this.
My son, he thinks me immortal because he must.
I thought he was gigantic for a second.
That's not a glitch. That's an exercise. I've done that before. Yes. Nice. Never got that one in Haven. That's a fun one. Whoa. Whoa.
Oh,
Yes. I got that one a couple times. Yeah.
Capricorn. Быстро или медленно?
and stuff.
Oh, can't go forward. Oh, weird.
But that one was.
Oh, can't trigger it. Oh, no.
Oh.
Oh, that FPS boost. That game is so pretty. Oh, no. Can't trigger this one either. Oh, this is a pretty big mission right here. Oh, no.
All right.
Nice.
Got him. Whoa. Shirt and sword.
Glitches in Avengers. I'm upset.
How
Yes,
could it be?
this was a very common one. She would just vanish. That I kind of dug that one actually. Yep,
Wow.
it happens. Yep.
It was still lied. Now what?
Hey, Inga bro. Good workout today.
Please, shut up.
Ah.
Get me out of here.
Man, the genre we're doing here is great.
Yeah, you play a lot of good games. Desperados 3 is so good, though.
It's this old lady. I'm swimming. Ooh, ah. Oh, Watch Dogs Legion. Yep. Nice, nice. Staring at you. Ah! Whee! Whee! Whoa!
Later, V.
That'd be a cool ability.
Leave her alone, V. She'll get it together. At times like this, she prefers to be alone.
Okay. I get that.
Times like
such an
this,
excellent
she
finale.
prefers to be alone.
Such an excellent finale. So good. Michelle Jackson. Hey, Jones and Ian, pretty basic dev update this month. Just exploring some new areas, talking to some characters. I think this is the first time I've managed to share gameplay on an Ian month. Ha ha! Ha ha! Love, respect. Let's please just explore some new areas and talk to some characters, please.
Love RPG Maker. So many pieces. Cool.
I like the eye patch. Like that she's a designer. The eyes covered. It's cool. Michelle can attain this vibe so, in my mind, easily in the score for this game that, like, I just imagine this music just follows Michelle just walking around.
Yeah.
I've listened to so many tracks from this game, and they all just have such a great vibe to it. John, did miss you. You're last. You're the very last video we're going to do today. Whoa.
Intense. Whoa.
Ooh. The
Mysterious.
plot thickens. Fun to piece again. Fun to piece that lore together 1 month at a time.
Yeah.
Just like it'll be like, wait a minute, I remember this character. From Happy Gaming. Hello there, Ian and Jones. It's been a busy month for us. My girlfriend finally got her second dose of the vaccination. We've started doing more work to get prepared to move back to our home in Washington State. It's a process that is extremely nerve-wracking given both the circumstances of the state, of the world, as well as how intimidating simple things that used to be normal are now. With more people being vaccinated, it was an eye-opener to us that things are gradually changing and getting back to a place where things could be more comfortable. Beyond those stresses, though, I was finally able to get my first dosage as well on the day I signed up for it. I also received an email from Sony offering an invitation to purchase a PlayStation 5. After jumping at the opportunity, the page crashed when it redirected me to the queue. The support person I got in touch with also had no idea what went wrong. Eventually, she gave me a last hurrah of advice suggesting I just delete my history, cache, etc. before bouncing from the chat altogether. Lo and behold, though, it actually worked. So on the same day I got my first vaccination, I also received my new PlayStation 5 in the mail. I dropped my phone on the floor to get my Kleenex. Sorry. It was definitely a jackpot of a day, as I was able to score after a long period of tumultuousness. Initially, I was hoping to have my review of Sakuna of Rice and Ruin done by the showcase this month, but the game's a bit longer than I anticipated, and the showcase crept up. Pardon me. So I put together a review this month for Journey with the 3-day turnaround. I had a script already mostly written from a while ago that I needed to revise and trim down and get the rest of the recording process done especially fast, but I'm still very happy with the results. Expect my review of Sakuna for next month's showcase. I will! Like always, I'm more than happy for constructive criticism. I hope everyone enjoys the first 3 minutes of the review. If you'd like to watch the full thing, check out my other reviews. Feel free to check out my Patreon page at patreon.com/happygaming to see more of my work. I hope everyone is staying safe and are finding things to keep all of you feeling uplifted. Love you all, Brian from Happy Gaming. Pew. Just that score. Just that score.
Oh, yeah. Such vibes.
The true purpose of any journey is subjective. We may never understand what a protagonist's true intentions or goals were when they set foot abroad. Regardless, that true purpose, as they say, is not the destination, but in the journey itself. This proverb can hardly be better experienced interactively than with that game company's masterpiece, Journey. It's a truly extraordinary game that is both emotionally arresting in what you'll witness through its visuals and music, but also through how the player personally undertakes a journey themselves. In Journey, you play as a hooded character with no name. We're not witness to the beginning of the character's adventure, but are dropped into the middle of it, left to wonder and figure out why we are in the center of a vast desert, and what our motive is. What we know for sure is that from Journey's opening moments, off in the distance, a gleaming and elegant mountain beckons us. From this point on, we steadily make our way across the windy, beautiful, and ancient unknown lands, discovering the secrets that once transpired in its past, and learn of the protagonist's goals. This adventure spans hot golden sand dunes, fold and forgotten ruins of a past civilization, and the mountain itself, an icy and treacherous peak. These world's areas are stunning to behold, with vistas that aren't just picturesque, but often feel alive with sands blowing and abstract creatures inhabiting them. There's a natural beauty to Journey, through the game's simple and minimalistic art design that is further brought to life through its inseparable soundtrack by Austin Wintory. Each of the locations traveled to are painted through this moving score, conveying deep and thought-provoking emotions of breathtaking awe, meditative silence, and reflective sadness, but never losing a movement and drive that establishes a feeling of forward momentum. We feel through the music what Journey's protagonist is feeling, and are always given the sense that through all these emotions, we need to continue to push onward towards our main unspoken goal. So matching and essential is the music to Journey, that it is inseparable from the game itself. The music perfectly conveys exact visuals from the world and the scenes we encounter. And once you've heard the music, these landscapes, in turn, remind us of Wintory's score, even when the sound is turned off. Like experiencing Walt Disney's Fantasia, the scenes and images become an organic part of the music itself, making the score something pictorial and living. Once played through even a single time, it is impossible to hear Journey's outstanding score without thinking of quiet deserts and the journey that took place there.
Bam! Ha-ha! The pause button. Ba-bam! Frozen in time. To be continued. Patreon.com/happygaming. Thank you.
That was great.
You're like, just keep going. 7-minute video. Come on now. More than double the amount of time specifically stated to be a part of the community showcase. Yeah, Journey Season 2, whenever, if ever, that happens for Mindful Games, lock it in. I mean, that's like, like Journey would have been such an easy pick for Mindful Games, but I hadn't played Abzu yet, and so I was like, all right, two birds.
Oh, I thought you did
We'll get
Journey.
to check this out. Did the Abzu.
Oh, Abzu, that's right.
Which, it's not a bad thing, but that kind of is one of my critiques or surprises from playing Abzu, where I was like, yeah, these people made Journey. They're not the same company, some of the same devs. Like, clearly, there's a lot of Journey vibes going on. Jeremy Waltman, hello allies. You had kind words to say about the Weatherworn proof of concept trailer last year, and now the game is up and running. Weatherworn is an all-ages adventure about the young pup and their grandfather Pap stranded on a dangerous world. It's a story-driven retro RPG with a modern pace about the seasons of life. Pap is voiced by Dave Pettit. You may know him as Master Asia from Mobile Fighter G Gundam, Sludge from My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, and the narrator of Valiant Hearts. Pap and Pup are heading to Steam. More to come. Love and respect, Jeremy. Congrats, Jeremy. Always love, voice actor hype. Take it away. This is me. Oops, starting to play. You betrayed me, XSplit. I reset you and everything. There we go.
Whoa, this is sick.
The aesthetic is, very unique, very solid.
You know, I've been thinking about what I told you. About roots. Roots tell us history, but not who we grow to be. That's up to you. All right, Pup, let's get home.
Yay. Short, good vibes. I like that it comes across what the
sick.
game is. And we've seen, bits and pieces of that throughout development. Thank you for making us a part of that. From the Void, hello, Jones and Ian. For this community showcase, I will send yet another bunch of obscure Mario characters your way. Yes, I really enjoy these a lot. This time it's going to be numbers 17, 16, and 15 from the Obscure Mario Top 20 Countdown. I'll just keep sending these to satisfy the need for Obscure Mario lore. I know you all have. You can check the full video and a lot more on From the Void Games channel on YouTube. Regular spelling, From the Void. One word. Thanks, love and respect, From the Void, a.k.a. Arthur Enrique Chinaglia.
course, most people know about the greedy weirdo Wario, but not that many people know that once, Baby Wario was a playable character. In Yoshi's Island DS, Wario is one of the several babies that can hop on Yoshi's back. Each baby in this game comes with a unique set of abilities. Now, guess what Wario can do? He uses a huge ass magnet to push and pull metal around, including coins. Now think about this. Think about how consistent it is that even when he was a little baby, Wario was really just looking to get himself rich. Any consequential heroism he does is merely by accident. He is so greedy that he will actually leave the party after World 3 to pursue more riches. He just straight up abandons the party and joins this group of bandits here. I mean, how awesome is that? So there we go, 17th place to Baby Wario. There are some great Mario and Luigi games, and there are some not so great Mario and Luigi games. Mario and Luigi's Dream Team stands somewhere in the middle. It's not the best, but it does have a bunch of great features, such as the Mega Luigi sequences. Let me say this again, Mega Luigi sequences. But this entry is not about Luigi. What I do want to talk about is this magnificent creature here, the Z-Keeper. How great of a design is this? It's like a legendary Pokemon. Also, he's a main plot character in Dream Team, acting like a sort of guardian godly creature. But he tests you before helping you out, and the battle against him is one of the best in the entire game. So yeah, 16th place to the Z-Keeper. Remember I said that Wario has saved not one, but two princesses in his career, and both entirely by accident. The other one is Princess Shakara. Shakara was a princess of a kingdom from a long time ago whose spirit was transferred into a black cat when a curse was placed on her by the Golden Diva in the Golden Pyramid. Eventually, some archaeologists find the pyramid and Wario finds out that it's full of unclaimed treasure. So naturally, he goes inside to get himself some treasure, you know, as usual, and he ultimately defeats the Golden Diva, which in turn returns Shakara to her true form. Again, completely accidental heroism. So then, the black cat transforms into a princess right in front of him. She gives him a kiss on the cheek, and right after that, a beam of light as well as 4 angels descend from the sky and whisk her away to heaven. Yeah, Shakara was already dead. It was only her spirit all this time. And while all this is happening, Wario is just sitting there, stupefied. Also, depending on the player's performance during the game, Shakara will take on different forms in the end. So what's not like about her, you can even choose your favorite Shakara form. And let me tell you, they're all great in their own right. So yeah, Shakara, 15th place.
Yeah!
Easy, what the hell?
Deep cuts. I love it, I love it, I love it. Really, those are such a treat. Thank you. I have not known any of it. Literally, it's like almost every single pearl you have dropped in all of these sequences. I've been like,
I didn't know
what?
any of that.
Yeah. Lots to learn, folks. From RF Switch, greeting Jones and Ian. For the past 2 months, I've been heartbroken and depressed, put in a situation that caused myself and the other person involved to be hurt, and the only way to fix it is to do something I'm uncomfortable with. Talking about myself and speaking from the heart. As a person who has gone through decades of abuse from family, friends, and romantic partners, this is the hardest thing for me to do. It's much better than talking through Themis and her friends and enemies. So in order to keep myself better at this, I'm going to spend the next 3 minutes talking about myself a bit, specifically about what inspired Themis the Catgirl in the first place. Thank you for all allowing me this tiny space. I hope you enjoy it. Love and respect, RF Switch. P.S. I'll be fully vaccinated this upcoming Monday. You should be too. No pressure, though. Yikes. Maybe a little bit of pressure. Take it away.
Jones, why did you give me 3 days to do this? And then I said it, so now I have to do it. Anyways. As I said in the post, I've gone through a lot of bullying and abuse at the hands of everyone. Luckily, I'm holding back on all the stuff friends have done towards me over the years. Well, friends. Otherwise, this would be a very bad story. But That's all the bad stuff that influenced Themis the Cat Girl. Here's all the good. I am almost 34 years old. My first video game was the original Legend of Zelda almost 32 years ago. My first book was probably read about 32 years ago as well. It wasn't an adult book. I'm not that smart. And I've always pulled myself towards fantasy and adventure and, of course, comics and manga and video games, JRPGs. A lot of the influences for Themis the Cat Girl itself are definitely The Legend of Zelda, Chrono Trigger, Earthbound. I won't say Avatar: The Last Airbender because I came up with my own version or take on elemental control about 2 years before Avatar came out. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff that influenced me. The bullying stuff kind of helped mash into that because, you know, I don't want anyone to go through what I did, so why not make a book that says, yeah, no, stand up to bullies. Don't just talk your way out of it. Don't just jump and talk to teachers or stuff, because they're probably not going to help. I'm getting rambly. This is a talk for another day. But yeah, there's my 3 minutes about me. And Jones, next time, give like a week. 3 days is a lot. Okay?
What do you say, Ian? You ever been forced to turn a video around in 3 days?
Try hours, yeah.
Tis true.
That's great.
Again, that's
Thank
what I
you
love
for
about.
sharing.
I love about my boy Cap. I just love ever watching the MCU. I love when they ask him like, "Why did you want to do this?" And he's like, "I don't like bullies."
Yeah.
Yeah, it's real simple. That's why.
Yeah.
That's why I wanted to get in the army. It's why I wanted to help fight back. So, and it's neat. It's neat that storytelling can help so much. Characters can help so much. Like, it's interesting to watch things at an early age and not necessarily realize until you're older why you even liked it. You know, why you look back and you're like, why did that resonate so much with me? Like, yes, this was my favorite Disney film, or yeah, that was my favorite character, but like, why? Why was it? You know, I just thought it was cool, you know, when I grew up, but then you realize a lot of that stuff later. So
Yeah, and to
always down to talk about
recontextualize-
inspirations. Yeah.
Recontextualize stuff later as an adult when you figured stuff out and you're like, oh. Yeah. Jones, I gotta pee again.
Oh man. Okay, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 videos left.
I want to be fully present for these
No, I know.
videos.
I'm just letting you know.
I'll be right back.
I'm gonna mute myself again so you can't hear me. Aha! To Ian, I'm just being quiet. To Ian, I'm having that meditative moment that he spoke of. Here, I'll deafen him just to be nice. Hi, chat, everybody. Again, sorry for the rushing. That's the thing about Easy Allies is you're always not doing something. There's so many pots going at Easy Allies. I'm always not working on a thing. No, RF banter is life. Banter is everything. That back at game trailers, that because I haven't hired a person in a very long time. Back when I was involved in hiring at game trailers, it always made me feel good when you don't want to have somebody come in and you can sense they're being frustrated and so they're kind of lashing out at coworkers. But at the same time, when you start that playfulness, that's when you can always tell, oh, that person's comfortable. You know, like when we would bring someone on and they would be very respectful and you know, really involved in the learning process. And then like a month later, maybe even 6 months later, I would say a joke and they would just kind of, you know, cut me just a little bit. And I'd be like, okay, here we go. You know, we're building a friendship, you know, based on joking with each other. It's good stuff. That's when you can always see, that's why it's tough to write for really close friend units, because there is, my mom, I remember in high school would read emails or something. Every now and then she would see over my shoulder me writing something or see a text or me corresponding with friends. And she'd be like, what did you just say to your friend? And I'm like, huh? And they're like, you just what a terrible thing you just told your friend. And it's like, oh no, that's just how we talk. It's like, how do you explain that to somebody else? Somebody else looking in on your like most personal conversations with your best friends and being like, you're terrible to that person. You're like, well, they get it, I guess. I don't know. They haven't told me. Sarah Knight, just as a heads up, I meant to put a thanks for watching at the end of my video, but totally forgot. Oh, and Kevin Chalet saying good night. Thank you. You never know how long these things are going to go. Don't worry about the snafu with my post. I should have posted the link at the start. No, that was my bad, because I got your video and set up your video and put you in the video section, but didn't put your comment in the video section of the document. So that was my bad. Oh.
Muting yourself.
Yeah.
Well, as punishment, I got another cookie.
Oh no. And I didn't really had a late breakfast. So I didn't have I'm hungry. Let's wrap it up.
I'm also hungry.
Yeah. That's why I'm eating a cookie. How many of those cookies you got? What was that? What did you remove that from? Was that like a pile of cookies or a basket of cookies or a box of cookies?
This is actually a different brand of cookie. Omar bought some cookies, and he picks up some vegan dairy-free ones for me. But I had also had some cookies from my meal service that brings me food every week.
Now I want to play obscure Mario games and eat cookies.
Yeah.
Eric Waugh. Hello, Jones and Ian. Exciting news for my team and I at Wimpy Imp Games since we just launched To Hell With It on April 28th. Since Ian has not seen this game before, I will repeat the game's razor pitch to give him some context. To Hell With It is a third-person hack-and-slash game where you play as Ayala, who finds herself battling through Hell's more obscure realms in a down-the-rabbit-hole style adventure to retrieve her stolen cat. I included our game's launch trailer, which will show you parts for all 3 of our levels with a variety of cool combat clips. I'm very happy with how last month of development went. I personally think we've launched a very cool product. The game is up on Steam for free, and I'd love for people in the Easy Allies community to check out the game and let us know what they think. Working on this game has been an amazing experience where I got to work with 18 extremely talented individuals for the past 7 months. Wonderful to get a time frame on that, because it's almost impossible to do that math. How many people, how much time? I also wanted to give a quick shout out to one of my other team members, Anthony Pacelli, who I learned recently is also an Easy Allies fan. He recently added ray tracing and DLSS to support to our game, which I think is pretty neat considering the game is free. Our team can't confirm if we are the only free game out there that supports ray tracing and DLSS, but we know for sure that there aren't many. I would like to thank everyone who has watched the community showcase the past 2 months and left us with many positive comments in the Twitch chat. Seeing people get excited about something you're working very hard on is always a very rewarding feeling, and I hope we hear from some people in the Easy Allies community after they check out the game. Wink, wink, wink. For anyone who wants to keep up with the game, wants to keep up to date with the game, they can follow us at Wimpy Imp Games, regular spelling on all of that, on Twitter. Love and respect, Eric Waugh. And I don't know, you included it, but I don't know if you had intended for us to show the video, because we have seen a bit of the game. But
I haven't.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Did I not download this one either? Jones. You're slipping. Jones. Why?
I can't go that low. You're a baritone.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm like a freaking alto.
You did give us a link, and I didn't grab it at all. Jones. You're slipping. It's nice. It's nice to make somebody jealous that sings high when I like go low for something. They're like, oh, that's lower than me. It's like, ha ha ha. Most of the songs.
I got a 4-range octave, but I can't go that low.
Most things out of somebody's range that they can't sing are rarely lower than they want to sing. It's usually the other direction.
Yep.
Like, I feel bad. The thing that bums me out is when I have an artist like Tom Petty, who I love so much, and that sucker is just out of my range. Like, there's some songs I'm like, I can sing 98% of this, but then Tom, bring it down.
On a good day, I can hit every Freddie Mercury, but there's that one note in Bohemian where if I'm not warmed up, too high.
And there it goes.
Yeah, buy them shirts, chat. Buy them shirts. Where are ours? I gotta like ping Roost. They sent out our massive order of all of our shirts. We haven't gotten the new shirts yet. We haven't seen them. What happened? I hope they didn't get like lost.
This is also a launch trailer, which I love launch trailers.
Mm-hmm.
I love the idea of like, all right, folks, one last shot. Here we go. All or nothing. Let's do it. Let's tell people about this game.
Mr. Oizo vibes. That looks dope.
Yeah, man. And I love the environments. I think that's my favorite thing. I love how each of the specific parts of the video showcased. Like, here's the parts where we're going to stare at environments. I really love one thing that we hadn't seen before, I think, until that trailer was the, like, card-based inventory upgrade management system. I'm curious how that works. Had not really seen a lot of that stuff come together. That looks cool.
I like the little unicorn and heart and stuff in the corner too. I wonder what that, like combo meter or something.
Yeah, and the collectibles just exploding all over the place. That's one of my favorite things. I love picking up collectibles. I've been playing Immortals Phoenix Rising, the latest DLC, and it's all about orbs now.
We know, Jones.
It's the only way you can get heal up is by getting an orb, and so I'll kill a guy, and the orb will go rolling down the hill, and I'm like, that's health, I need it. You know, like rolls off a cliff into the ocean, like, no.
Oh no. Chat, if you haven't seen it,
yeah, there were some solid wah-wahs in that.
do yourself a favor after this and check out the Mr. Oizo video for Flat Beat. It's fantastic.
Okay. Downloaded this one. I forgot to put this one in. Josh Couture. Good afternoon, Jones and Ian. This is my first time writing into anything. I began listening to Easy Allies during my freshman year of college, and I'm now graduating later this month. Congratulations. I appreciate all of your passion and hard work to spread positivity and creativity as it pushed me through a few depressing years. To celebrate and thank y'all, I decided to come out of my shell and join the community showcase. After seeing what Ian was going to be on for this month, I was reminded of his endless reservoir of imagination and relentlessness to make weird things. It's deeply inspiring and drives me to make use of my own creative energy. For that reason, I would like to take advantage of the community showcase and use it as an excuse/outlet to make something new for each month. For my first video, I threw some stuff together on a game that is intensely outside of my comfort zone, but has enraptured me in the past week. Please allow me to share you the joys of Trackmania. Love and respect, Josh.
Already, this looks awesome.
Jumps! Let's go off some jumps. Trackmania is so great.
Gonzo. No Jim and Earl moment.
Oh, sure. Oh,
such a tight window.
Nice.
That was awesome.
Thank you for the smiles. That was wonderful. Josh. Chris Park.
Fun, easy update.
I love how direct Chris Park is. So Chris Park has been providing us with lots of fake Grand Order hype, and I love that Chris Park does this every time. So now all the post says every single character is an archer, but less than 40% of the archers actually use bows in this game total. I was like, what is this regard? Oh, right, of course. So I'm guessing this one is for me. Usually Chris brings stuff for allies, and I guess this is my archer montage that I've been waiting for this whole time. Here we go.
Check it out.
What?
It's a bunch of finishing moves from this weird game.
I've seen, yeah, these are amazing.
Yours World Musical, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah, this game is fantastic.
This is how much she loves archery. They were just... I heard that story and got taken out. Peak that audio. Peak that audio.
I am the Lord of Vice.
Yes.
Unlimited Blade Walks.
What figures I forgot.
Real Harlequin vibes for Clay and Jay there. I like it.
King Arthur's got a hot divide.
Snipe? Oh my.
よしよし、今回もよろしくね。大いなる天から大いなる地に向けて、またの名を決めるはぐれ
Just a planet as an arrow. This planet.
There are people whose job is to think that.
三千世界に屍を晒すがよい。これが魔王の三段牛じゃ。
Is everybody gender screwed in this?
Yeah, a little bit. Sometimes. Just King Arthur and Nobunaga.
I'm here for it.
Wow.
I love that.
It's like if you worked on that game and like you showed somebody an animation and like the director responded with, "Can we make that a little more intense?" Like, what do you do?
Yeah.
Do you make it louder? Do you add more damage numbers? Like, how do you dial it up and dial it down? Like, specifically, what things change when an attempt is made? Yeah.
Gate open.
More screaming. How many people do you have screaming on that? 14, I believe. Let's do 18. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Good work though. Good work though, Jim. Good work.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you, as always. Bo, hey, allies. Another ally last month commented about using anime as a good motivator for exercise. Unfortunately, I forgot the ally's name. Brian from Happy Gaming was the ally. But I 100% agree. I was 165 pounds last year when I started watching Hajime no Ippo boxing anime. It got me motivated to start weightlifting for the first time. I then started watching Haikyuu, which is volleyball anime, and Run with the Wind, long-distance running anime, which got me back into running. Now I'm at 128 pounds. You don't need anime to get fit, but a good motivation can really help. Anyways, this month I'm sharing another devlog. Love and respect. It's kind of the same thing with mindful games. It's like hoping, to get one person that never thought about it. Maybe you can just kind of trip into like, oh, that meditation was fun because of video games. Same thing.
Yeah.
Exercising is fun because of anime. But let's do a devlog.
Hey guys, for this month's devlog I don't have much to show because I've been working at my real job. So I've only had maybe a few hours a week to work on the game. Let's get into it. Since I don't have a lot of time, this month I chose to work on something simple, trim sheets. Before I go into that though, I want to go into Epic. Epic has been giving away multiple assets from their Unreal Marketplace every month. These are all the add-ons or plugins I have from the marketplace.
Wow.
Only about 1 to 2% of these I have actually paid for. The level assets I was using are from one of the Epic giveaways. The plan was to use these assets, but I've decided not to. It's not because they're too low quality or anything. If anything, they're too good. They have too much detail and the characters get lost too easily. So now I'm making my own level assets that focus less on micro details and more on macro details. One way to do that is with trim sheets. So what is a trim sheet? A trim sheet is like a collage. It uses many textures to make a single texture, and you make your level assets out of that texture. I've experimented with trim sheets before with varying success. To make my trim sheet, I use Quixel's Bridge, which is free if you have an Unreal account. But if you don't, you can get textures from textures.com, which is sort of free. I then take these textures and put them into Affinity Photo. I also take Quixel's Bridge normal map textures as well. This isn't the best way to make trim sheets, but I'm just messing around here. I then make the assets in Blender, which is 100% free, and unwrap them to the trim sheet. So now I can quickly change my assets to be made of wood, brick, or concrete. And my assets are really low poly while still having some detail. I then take these assets, put them into Unreal, and see if it looks good. This works fine, but I was making my assets off the trim sheet textures instead of making my trim sheet off of the assets. So now I've gone another direction. I'm choosing to use a color grid and making my assets with that. This is really helping me see my assets almost like a silhouette. And when I'm done, I can easily unwrap my assets onto finished textures.
Sure.
And yes, these are very simple shapes, but so are the assets in Strider 2014. Take this level for example.
Yeah.
This whole level could have been made with a bunch of cubes. If you want to learn more about designing a level with trim sheets, check out Polygon Academy's channel. They have a series of videos about that. Thanks for watching.
Cool.
Very cool.
Especially because a lot of the stuff you've been talking about has dealt with environment design, which is just something that you don't think about a lot. I thought about environment design a lot with It Takes Two, because you're just like, we were playing that and they're just like, oh, that was a cool environment, and gone. We'll never see that environment again for the rest of the game. Gone. Bye. We just slid past it at high speed and then gone. So just crazy to be like at work for like a week, be like, and painting the thing they're gonna see for 10 seconds. Okay, done. Very appreciated. A fun perspective. Robert Seven Lee, greetings from England, Brandon and Ian. This is a lazy submission as I'm trying to get through Assassin's Creed Valhalla before Resident Evil Village is out, and it's taken up all my free time. I was working on putting together clips of my funniest and most memorable moments from Easy Allies for your anniversary, but only had time for this one. This 3-minute clip doesn't do justice to how hilarious this segment is. This also sent me down a deep rabbit hole. I've included the link to the full podcast on the submission. Again, I'll be making that live after the fact. Patreon.com/EasyAllies. Community Showcase. May 2021. It's brilliant. What if you guys remember it? Love and respect, Robert Lee. I love that. Like, I wonder if you guys even remembered that this is a thing that took place even while you're watching it. It's like, might not. Might be saying, who are these people? Here we go. Thank you, Robert.
Before we move on, I heard something that was a little disturbing to me. I heard Ben say TY baby. And I just want to, like, is that what you called them? Growing up, were they called TY babies? We as well never said beanie. That's cool. Like, we said Ty babies.
I've always said...
No.
I've always said TY.
Wow.
It's Ty?
It's 100% Ty.
I mean, usually when you see two letters like that with mark,
Right.
it's
They're
always...
lowercase?
Is the studio called IA? Is it IA?
Excuse me?
Or
What
EA? Is it IA?
Those are both capitalized.
Those are both capitalized. Let's talk about id Software where they're not capitalized and then we call it id instead of ID.
That's a fair point. I guess I just never thought about it that way.
Oh my goodness.
I'm gonna live my own life.
This entire country is based on everyone having the right to be wrong.
You said that was spite.
It's dark times.
We are
They're
easy
about to get
allies.
darker.
We Bernstein Bears.
Stop this. Stop this.
It's real. We're in a new dimension, baby. And Elise is
what
from
do other
this
people
world.
say?
Elise is from this reality. She says Berenstain. It's always been Berenstain.
Berenstain?
Look it up. It's spelled AI now. It wasn't before.
No, it was not
E.
before at all. It was
It had
definitely
an
the Bernstein
E.
Bears.
No.
Look it up.
It had-
We are in a new reality. This is real.
Sorry, Kyle.
Look it up. It's freaky. Our entire
It's
youths are a
Berenstain.
lie.
It's Berenstain Bears.
Look it up. It's weird.
What does Elise have to do with this?
She always thought it was Berenstain,
And she was right.
which means she's from this reality.
She's from the reality that somehow you warped into as the
Right,
only person
right.
who truly believes the whole weird Berenstain thing.
My
everyone
entire
believes it.
family, every kid that I
So
hung
wait, you
out
like
with,
Googled old
everyone
covers
said
and everything, and
Berenstain
it's
Bears.
like
All evidence of it ever being spelled with an E is gone.
my mom has Bernstein Bears books at home.
Okay,
I will
all right.
dig
Go
those
get
up.
'em.
Yes,
We'll get on it.
Prove
get
it.
her to
I
take a
looked at
picture.
ours.
Wait, it's
Because
not
I
the
went and
Bernstein
looked
Bear
at
books.
mine too, Jones. I went and looked
I
at them.
I actually have several sources for Bernstein Bear books. I will
With an
track those
E,
down.
yeah.
Oh, I took
thought so.
photos
You're
of them
saying
and tweeted it.
What are you saying?
Bernstein.
I reported
Steve,
immediately.
Bear. Well, I mean, there's still Bear in the beginning. In,
Yeah,
in
yeah,
any of the
Berenstain Bears.
universes.
But no,
Berenstain.
I thought so too. I went to
Berenstain.
my parents' house and I looked at the books and they had an AI. It like was like
Yeah,
horrifying
Berenstain.
moment.
It's
for me.
Berenstain. We
It's
just
The
really
ones.
weird.
It's always been
Yes.
Berenstain.
That's what
always
Ian is
been-
claiming right now.
What
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
saying in this
Is that at no
reality,
point-
It didn't have an E.
On
No,
planet Earth.
yeah.
It never had an E.
right?
Yeah.
That
I
is
mean,
the
Bear has an E,
That
but
is
the
the
end,
first
the
time
ending.
in my life that I've
I
heard that.
imagine we're watching Fringe, and like every time they got to go between dimensions, they got to go by a
They
bookcase.
gotta mention
so you see
Berenstain
the
Bears.
A, the
Yeah.
E,
No,
and Berenstain Bears.
no,
Just so you know.
This is
this
time
is
travel happened.
This is
Somebody's fucking
This
with
is
me.
the weird thing is
It
because
didn't
like
have an A.
so many people have this reaction that it's never been STAIN.
No, somebody changed history.
I
That's
know.
the only thing that makes
That's
sense.
the thing that's weird about it to me is that so many people have this reaction that they're positive it was E when we were kids.
Wow.
Whoa.
Well, find those books.
Yeah.
It'll blow your mind.
I think it's called like a Nelson Mandela phenomenon.
Mandela effect. Yeah.
It's the Mandela effect, the Nelson Mandela effect.
The Nelson Mandela.
Thank you, everybody.
phenomenon.
We are the Nelson Mandela phenomenon. We will
That'd
be here all
a great
week.
band name.
Hey, did you hear NMP is playing tonight? Really? Oh, let's go see him. Oh, man. Yeah, truly funny.
Still weird though. Like a lot of those Mandela effects are, pretty easily explained, but that one.
That one's bonkers. I mean, the
That one's
easiest thing
weird.
to explain is we were wrong. And the A's
Well,
look like E's depending on what font
Certainly
you
we
put
were
them in.
wrong,
That's
I
it.
guess,
mean,
but like, what?
It is it's simple to explain and understand, but still hard to accept. I think it's the accepting part of it that I'm still not
it was
over.
Berenstain though,
But you're like, I guess I was wrong. I guess my brain got it wrong every single time I looked at it. But
yeah, dude,
that's okay. That's all right. It
Cooey.
happens. Cooey. Nick Gothic. Hello, everyone. Here's my last part of my trilogy of videos detailing my 20 favorite games. I regret to say this last one goes for 10 seconds past the limit. It's all right. Everybody's doing it. It's a trend. It's cool. It's popular.
Everybody's
it's
doing
all
it.
the cool kids are going past the limit.
Yeah.
Although collectively, all 3 videos have had a length of 8:22, so maybe by virtue I can get a free pass. If Brandon lets it slide, I won't tell anyone he gave us short notice for this month's showcase. Ha ha. I'm kidding, of course. Yeah, no one's brought that up today. I'm kidding, of course, and I appreciate Brandon's dutifulness as a parent, and I know handling work time must not be easy at all, so I'm giving my proverbial cheers to you. Here it is. And because Huber asked for it, I made a compilation featuring all 3 videos available for download. I sent that to Huber. And so for everyone who's missed out and would like to see the whole thing, you can find the link over in the post on Patreon if it's still there. Tis. Or just come and ask me about it on Twitter. This was fun. This has been fun making, and I give thanks to all these allies for giving me the space to express myself and steer my thoughts away from my loneliness. I'll see you next time. Nick Gothic at ClownBoss. Regular spelling, all one word. ClownBoss if you want to find Nick Gothic on Twitter. Nick, you are so charming. Take it away.
Hello Brandon, hello Ian. Nice to have you back here. This is the top 7. Number 7, Sid Meier's Alpha Centauri. Alpha Centauri is a beautiful game. It is also a terrifying game. It's a science fiction game about the far future, and however you want to make it is entirely up to you. It's a powerful and scary game that tests your ethics, and the fact that it has a scripted narrative will leave you emotionally drained. Number 6, Tetris. In Eastern Europe, there used to be a whole range of LCD handheld devices that could only play Tetris. To many children living in here, it was their first exposure to Tetris, and they hold a deep nostalgic value. Tetris is magical. The NES variant is my favourite because it has the Sugar Plum Fairy, and it helped me fall asleep on many insomniac nights.
Oh.
Number 5, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2.
What a fun look at Tetris.
When I was 12, I had what I like to call my frat boy phase. I'd sleep over at the one friend I had, and we'd do nothing but watch Jackass and play Tony Hawk, and it makes me badly want to learn to skate myself someday. Let me put it this way, I don't think any other game liberated as many young minds as THPS did. I'm shocked the FBI didn't ban this. Number 4, StarCraft. Yes, StarCraft is a brilliant strategy game with lots of versatility and creativity, but honestly I was more in it for the story. It's my favourite science fiction setting and is what I feel a comfortable midpoint between the gritty realism of Alien and the mythic proportions of Star Wars. And that's ending. StarCraft is the first video game to make me cry. Number 3, Siberia. You're Kate Walker, a lawyer from New York who travels through Europe's desert landscapes to find Hans Vorarlberg, an ingenious automaton inventor who breathes life into toys and machines. On your travels you meet the people who knew Hans and they tell you all about him, his kindness, his childlike spirit and generosity, how they were touched by him and how they regret ruining themselves and driving him away. You become more fascinated with him, you want to meet him, you trace his footsteps, become enveloped in the sublime beauties you see that nobody ever believes in, and Kate rediscovers herself and feels truly alive for the first time. She sacrifices the comforts of a dull old life because she wants to be lost and never found again. And number 2, Half-Life. It's a horror game. It's more replay value than the second one. The muscles and nerves in your back tense whenever Gordon moves his head up and down. The game is revolutionary in the way it achieves the synthesis of the story experience, the mechanic experience, and the body experience. Everybody keeps joking what the Citizen Kane of video games is, but honestly Half-Life might be the closest thing we'll ever get to it. Number 1, Final Fantasy VII. Yes, you could say the combat's not good. You could say half the minigames don't work. You could say the story's confusing. You could say everybody's made out of 3 polygons. Final Fantasy VII is the Star Wars of video games. It's humongous, it's glorious, it's a bloated meteor strike that left an imprint on the game industry whose ripple effects we still feel today, but not entirely for the better. Even 25 years later, developers are still conditioned to make their own state-of-the-art, million-dollar budget AAA games with the latest graphics technology, massive overworlds and intricate storylines with lots of cutscenes and voice acting. After all, you don't make the greatest video game of all time without making some collateral. But what's important is that Cloud's a true hero, Shimmer are monsters, the cast is beautiful, Sephiroth is terrifying, and the story's an emotional epic. I may be speaking rubbish too, you know. It's okay if you don't like any of these are silly, but these are the games that really mean to me. Thank you to everyone who's listening. Love and respect.
Yeah. Gosh, starting at these games means something to me too. There was some point, the Siberia. I've always been curious about that plot. Sounds awesome.
Yeah.
I did not know. Automatons. You had me at automatons.
Automatons. Seventh Guest vibes, making sentient toys.
And StarCraft hype, because I got into Wings of Liberty, and then I was like reading back what happened in the original StarCraft, and I was like, oh my god, the story.
Shit gets crazy.
I am into the story. Whoa. And finally, John Wingate, aka Wingaticus. Hey, Brandon and Ian, hope you guys are doing well. I hope you and the allies can check out my YouTube channel, Gameplay Dismay. John Wingate's showing up as Gameplay Dismay in Twitch, I believe. We do anime reviews, movie reviews, currently playing Neo 2 and Destiny 2 and Souls games. Also on Twitch, same name. Ian, check out Roisin Machine, Roisin. The new album from Roisin Murphy is definitely one of my top 5 albums of 2020. I think you might like it. Anyway, here's me killing a boss in Neo 2. P.S. The Wheel Soul Core is the best. Stay safe. Love and respect. Take it away. love people showing up in the showcase to kill tough bosses for me so I don't have to. Let's do it. Dodge. Yes. To the ropes.
Yeah.
What? Did you just throw a pig at me?
Yeah, Neo's pretty wild.
Him? Cheese it, cheese it!
Yeah, this game's good.
It's funny, every game is like really always has their own unique aesthetic in a couple of ways, and it's like you see that little like glowy bits on the ground that were pulsating away from the enemies, and I'm like, oh yeah, Neo.
Yeah,
I remember that. Remember
Key
that gray
pulse.
stuff. Yep. And credit to KB Holmes, who wrote placeholder, but then did not actually give us a submission. But to write placeholder, had to give $10 to Easy Allies for the month of operation that was April 2021. So thank you very much for being a part. As goes out to anybody that has been a part of Easy Allies at $10 or above that is not involved in the showcase this month, but just shows up, helps out, helps us keep on going. I skipped Sarah Imshog. Why did I do that?
How dare you?
Yeah, that is definitely a video I got up. That is definitely a post.
I saw it in the videos there.
Yeah. Ian can literally account for it in XSplit. Yeah,
I can see the whole XSplit because he's just screen sharing me.
Because there's so many fun ways that you can mess up the showcase. You can write the post but not grab the file. You can grab the file but not the post. Oh, right. You didn't have... Yeah, I think I slipped past it because Sarah Knight just puts the post up, just puts the video up. And so it's just video. I have nothing to say from Sarah Knight. I have literally a video to play.
Speaks
and
for
that
itself.
is all. Yeah. Cheers, Sarah Knight. That's right.
drawing,
Yeah.
dude.
The shading, man. Shading.
Yeah.
Can you talk about shading for 5 seconds? Just looking at an object and knowing, like, oh yes, all of that shades. You know, that's
Like,
where the light goes. That's where the dark
lines
parts
of the
are.
shadows and stuff. I was just like, how do you? What program?
And doing it
is
all
that?
so fast.
Yeah. Yeah. Real time video. It's incredible. What program is that?
Okay. Yeah, I think I did it. Oh, that's the other thing too. In terms of game dev, you know, having that look inside Unreal is fascinating because that's not something that we pick apart on a regular basis. But Procreate, nice.
Yeah.
Procreate.
It's so cool to see like other people who are like skilled at things that you know just enough about to
Right.
be impressed by it. You know, to be like, wow, that's hard. Like.
I know just enough to be scared of that.
Yeah, to know that I won't ever achieve what you just did.
But that's it. That's really the core of the community showcase, so that we can all get together and be jealous of each other.
Yeah.
Just a little bit, just for something. Even if it's an LP that you own, a talent that you have, a place in the world that you get to experience, a trip you made some years ago to see a bunch of cool Star Wars characters walk down Disney World Ave. Really, really enjoyed that. Thank you, Ian, for being a part of the community showcase for May 2021.
Did we forget anyone else?
I don't think so. That was right before we left. Sarah and I was like, ah, you're gonna forget me, weirdo. But I think we're good. I don't think anybody.
And it's 1:30 a.m. there apparently.
Yay!
Sorry.
Thanks to everybody that are part of this. Again, we are primarily funded via Patreon, so $10 is a big deal here at Easy Allies. And so this is people being a part of this to support Easy Allies, but also being a part of this to support each other. That's one of the best things about the showcase, is seeing all the kind things. So I love seeing somebody check out the post before it goes live on this stream, and then like being excited for their friends to have something that comes up. Like, oh, you know, the song's coming up. I really like the song. It's neat to get those vibes because I get to check out, and it is such a joy to bring in somebody like Ian. Oh, I can hear you on the speakers now.
Oh,
I can hear me coming back.
My ears.
It's nice to get to have an ally and be like, hey, I guarantee you're going to enjoy the next couple hours as I show you all of these fun things. And I very much enjoyed those. Now time to write a description and send it to Bloodworth. How do you describe the last 3 hours of our lives? We will be back at the beginning. Again, Bradley Ellis will be here in June. We'll be back at the beginning of June, and somewhere around the last week, maybe 3 days before the stream, I will put up a post where you can go and collect all of the things for all of our wonderful subs at 10 and above that come in during the month of May 2021. But this is always such a gosh darn treat, and I enjoyed so much, and Ian, you make it absolutely wonderful. Mwah! Thanks for showing up all those things. I hope you guys have a wonderful month, and we'll see you at the next showcase. Bye!
Bye!
Wait, where's Ian so I can mute Ian? There we go. Wait. Boom! Ian's gone. Now it's just me. Haha! No, I'm also leaving. Bye!